Hokage Starting from the Instant Full Level, Chapter 21-40. Chapter 21. I'm Too Hard. When I thought of the unicorn that fell from the sky, and the kaleidoscope writing wheel the soles of my feet were still cold. Lord Watergate, your status is different now. You have the right to call us old immortals. Mao Kingwu said with a smile. However, we have one thing to report. Long Yu probably did not want to get involved in the dispute between Konoha and the Uchiha clan, so he deliberately hid it. Following Kingwu Azuki's narration, Minato, who was originally smiling, turned solemn. Senior Kingwu, do you say that Long Yu has a powerful thunderbolt ninjutsu, a special sharinjutsu, and also has the heaven-defying talent for learning ninjutsu? Minato Namikaze couldn't help but asked. Looking at everyone in the field who nodded in unison, Minato Namikaze couldn't hold his breath anymore. Senior Kingwu, I'll give you the Moonlight Blast first, and I'll go to Long Yu to have a look. Lord Minato, don't worry, but in Yunrin Village, the next Raikage heir, I once said that Long Yu has the qualifications to become the next Hokage. I hope you don't mind. Uyu Kingwu said after a moment of hesitation. This time, Danzang's confidant, Shan Zongfeng and Oil Girl, not only fled back, but also leaked our stronghold information to Yunren. If Danzang knew that Long Yu had ruined his subordinates' affairs, I'm afraid he would. Regarding Long Yu, we hope that Mizuno-sama can help one or two at a critical moment. Quote. In the eyes of Mao Kingwu and others, external enemies can still be eliminated by powerful means. But in the face of internal struggles, it can be said that it is easy to hide with open guns, and difficult to guard against hidden arrows. Senior Kingwu, don't worry, I understand what to do. Minato Namaifeng nodded and said, wait a while, I'll report the matter here to Lord Hokage 3. With 3 generations of Hokage-sama coming forward, Danzo will also retreat a bit. Uyu Kingwu breathed a sigh of relief. This matter is arranged like this for the time being. The next defense will depend on everyone's concerted efforts. Minato patted Mao Kingwu on the shoulder and said, I'll go talk to Long Yu first. After watching Namikaze Minato leave, Uyuki Shion finally couldn't hold back her breath and said, Dad, are you saying that once Long Yu returns to Konoha, I'm afraid he will be hit by the roots? What's the matter? Are you concerned about your little lover so soon? Inu Feng teased. Uyu Shion glared at him and said, who is his lover? I just don't want Konoha Ninja Village to lose such a strong man. This kind of person is like a companion and is an absolutely powerful backing, but if it is an enemy, it would be too terrifying. Mao Kingwu said suddenly. As soon as these words came out, everyone's expressions couldn't help changing. As Uyu Kingwu said, facing the existence of Long Yu, the only thing we can do is to be friends and not enemies. Even if you can't be friends, you can only be passers-by. Inside the cave, Long Yu sat cross-legged, restoring the chakra in his body. At the same time, he was thinking about how to solve the problem of lack of blue in a short period of time. After these 2 battles, his chakra was exhausted, and if it wasn't for the strength of his pupils. In the face of the enemy, I am afraid that I will not be able to get up. After thinking about it, Long Yu finally just concluded 2 methods. Make a contract with Miao Mushin, and then learn the immortal mode. By absorbing the power of nature, you can quickly return to blue. Second, find the head and tail beasts to be the pillars of their own. This is the quickest way Long Yu can think of right now. However, Miao Mushin's psychic contract has always been worn by Jiraiya. Since Orochimaru rebelled and escaped from Konoha, Jiraiya has also become a dad and has been following Orochimaru. It would be difficult to find Jiraiya in a short period of time. As for looking for a head-tailed beast to be a human Zuli, looking around the entire ninja world, except for the 3-tailed, the rest of the 8-headed tailed beasts are all lodged in the human Zuli body. During the current war, every shinobi village is very cautious about the protection of the human column. For a moment, trying to use this method to solve the problem of lack of blue seems to be even more unrealistic than the first one. Thinking of this, Long Yu sighed helplessly. I'm so hard. Long Yu, if you have any problems, you can tell me if you don't mind. The voice of Minato Namikaze suddenly came. Looking at Namikaze Minato, Long Yu's eyes lit up involuntarily. The ninjutsu of Namikaze Minato can be said to be a royal family. Start Flying Thor, the ultimate move Spiral Pill, but you can't beat the ghoul. In addition to these three ninjutsu, in Ryu's impression, Namikaze Minato did not perform many other ninjutsu. However, among the three ninjutsu techniques, Long Yu paid more attention to the technique of Flying Thunder God. The Lei Dun Chakra mode can greatly increase the speed of Long Yu. Just in terms of escaping and killing the enemy, and being unexpected, I am afraid that no ninjutsu can compare to the technique of Flying Thunder Gods. Long Yu, are you worried that Danzo will be bad for you? Minato Namikaze said tentatively. Long Yu raised his brows, but he didn't think that Minato Namaifeng would automatically make up his mind. Originally, he was still thinking about how to teach him the technique of Flying Thunder Gods through the routine wave Feng Minato. Now it saves him a lot of words to explain, and he said one by one, this is just a small matter. If Danzang really wants to attack me, I will not go back. The world is so big, there will always be a place for me to hide. Namikaze Minato's expression froze. This is what worries him the most. According to the description of Maoyu Kingwu and others, Long Yu's strength is enough to reach the level of Shangnin. Possibly even more than that. If coupled with the amazing ninjutsu talent. Once Long Yu is allowed to leave Konoha Ninja Village, it will be a huge loss and hidden dangers. Chapter 22, Hot Picks. Long Yu, don't think about things too badly. I have a good relationship with Fuyu, and I will never let Danzo target you recklessly. Minato Namaifeng quickly persuaded. And this matter, I will advance report to the 3 generations of Hokage-sama. With his wisdom, he will definitely handle this matter fairly. Just feel free to go back to Konoha with me. For Namikaze Minato, Long Yu also knew about it in the original work. As the saying goes, good people are short-lived. So Long Yu didn't have much doubt about the intentions of Minato Namaifeng, but his purpose was to get Fei Lei Shen. If he was dismissed with just these 3 words, it would be rubbing the IQ of his 2 lifetimes on the ground. I also want to go back, but unfortunately I don't have much means to protect myself. If you are willing to teach me the technique of Flying Thunder Gods, I may consider 1 or 2. Long Yu said with a smile. Namikaze Minato couldn't help being stunned for a moment, then he smiled bitterly and said, so you've been thinking about this from the very beginning. It seems that you don't take Danzo to heart at all, but this technique of Flying Thunder God is a forbidden technique developed by the 2nd generation Hokage. Even if I want to teach it to you, I need the consent of the 3rd generation Hokage. Dor said helplessly. If you really want to learn, I can teach you the ninjutsu I developed myself. You mean, Spiral Pill? Long Yu rolled his eyes helplessly. With Namikaze Minato, such a one-rooted person, it would be more difficult for him to teach Fei Lei Shen privately than to kill him. It seems that there is only other way to think of it. You also know about spiral pills. Minato Namikaze said with a smile on his face. This spiral pills do not require seals, the amount of chakra is generally required, and I have also developed a systematic learning method, which I will demonstrate now. Show you. Spiramaru. Minato said. His right-hand fingers tensed slightly. Under the chakra, blue air waves were rapidly generated, and a blue chakra ball was formed in the blink of an eye. It looked like a blue starry sky. Of course, if people are judged by their appearance, this spiral pill should be underestimated. I'm afraid it will often be the end. In the original book, there is a funny joke. There is no enemy that spiral pill cannot deal with. If there are, one opponent that cannot be solved, use 2. If it still can't be solved, I will make the balls in different ways, and I will always be able to make the finale come out. Did you see it clearly? Minato Namaifeng scattered the spiral pill in his hand and asked, I will demonstrate it for the 2nd time now. With your aptitude, as long as you practice well and control the movement of chakra well, you should I learned it in a week. Quote. Looking at the enthusiastic Namikaze Minato, Long Yu couldn't refuse. Moreover, Naruto's wind escape spiral pill in the original book is really awesome. Compared with Lei Dunkilin's display, it is also less complicated. Feeling the chakra in Minato Namimo working again, the dragon feather kaleidoscope writing wheel eyes working. In Hokage, Sharingan is a local plugin, no need for white. Always pay attention to Long Yu's Namikaze Minato. At this moment, I feel that the whole person seems to be seen through. The moment he raised his head, his eyes met, and his pupils could not help shrinking. The chakra condensed in his hand also collapsed. Are you a kaleidoscope writing wheel eye? Minato Namikaze couldn't help asking. Long Yu was not surprised when Minato Namikaze said something. It is not the first time in the history of Konoha that the kaleidoscope writing wheel has appeared. At least all the information of Madara Uchiha will be completely recorded by the second Hokage. And Namikaze Minato, as the most promising existence of the fourth Hokage. In order to solve the affairs of the Uchiha family, he was particularly concerned. It is not surprising to know the existence of the kaleidoscope shaker. Isn't it strange that an unknown junior would have a kaleidoscope writing wheel eye? Long Yu didn't plan to hide it at all. In the face of absolute strength, all intrigues and tricks are idiots. Minato Namikaze took a deep breath and nodded. I finally know why they say you have the talent to learn ninjutsu. The Uchiha clan's Sharingan has the ability to copy ninjutsu, although not everyone can do it. After taking one more look, Minato Namika looked away. However, in Konoha's secret information, the description of the Uchiha family's kaleidoscope writing wheel eye, once awakened, will obtain a special pupil technique. If I guess correctly, the huge Asura ghost, black flame, and powerful the ninjutsu is all caused by this pair of eyes. Quote. Long Yu had already anticipated Minato Namikaze's speculation. From the very beginning, he decided to repel Yunren and AB combination, using Susanoo, Amaterasu and Tsukiyomi. He knew that this matter could not be hidden for long. Nodding his head one by one, he said, "You're right, he is indeed a popular character for the next Hokage." Hearing this, Namikaze Minato smiled bitterly and said, "There are many outstanding people in Konoha, Fuyu, Zishui, Sunin where the teacher is, and you. I'm just more receptive because I'm on the front lines and have no political background. If you really want to compete for strength, Teacher Jiraiya, Fuyu, Zishui and others are more suitable." Looking at Namikaze Minato with a humble face, Long Yu couldn't help but rolled his eyes and said, "Act when you should, otherwise what would you do if you become so powerful? Hid it so that no one can see it. That's boring. People are selfish. When you become a hero, you have to keep secrets, but I can't do it." With a wry smile, "I didn't think of Long Yu, your opinion on the matter really makes people stunned. Although I can't teach you the technique of flying thunder gods, but when I return to Konoha, I will ask the 3 generations of Hokage for instructions, and he should agree. Now let me demonstrate the second spiral pill first." As he spoke, Minato Namikaze condensed the chakra in his body again. Chapter 23, Deus Spiral Pill. However, before the spiral pill took shape, there were hurried footsteps outside the door. "Sir Minato, the big thing is bad," and the secret whistle reported that the whereabouts of the mist ninja appeared 3 kilometers away. "There are still a lot of people. The ninja who took the lead are not clear for the time being." Maoyu Kingwu hurried in. Seeing the spiral pills scattered in Minato Namikaze's hand, he realized that the timing seemed a little wrong, and a trace of apology appeared on his face. "Long Yu, I'm sorry, I'll show you the spiral pill when I get back. You consumed a lot of chakra in the battle just now. Now rest at the stronghold. Let me kill those mists." Minato Namikaze dropped this. After a few words, he hurried out. After giving Long Yu an apologetic look, Maoyu Kingwu quickly followed. After the two left, the huge cave returned to calm again. "I didn't expect that even the mist ninja sent people to attack in a roundabout way. It seems that they all want to beat the underdogs." Long Yu smiled playfully. Originally, I plan to find a tailed beast as a chakra cache machine. If I can catch a small leader, I might be able to find out the whereabouts of Sanwei. However, let's try it now and learn the spiral pill, and there may be unexpected surprises. As Long Yu thought about it, he recalled in his mind the scene where Minato Namikaze used the spiral pill for the second time under the copy of the kaleidoscope shaker. The few chakras left in the body roared and quickly gathered to the right hand. The original difficulty of spiral pills, as long as systematic practice, even the tail of a crane like Naruto can learn. Now Long Yu has used the kaleidoscope to right the wheel eye to thoroughly analyze the operation structure of the spiral pill, and it will be more effective if it operates. Spiral pill. The 5 fingers of Long Yu's right hand were slightly tensed, and the blue chakra released from it quickly gathered in the palm of his hand. The next moment, along with the high-frequency sound of chakra flowing, the spiral pills condensed in an instant. Ding dang. Found A-level ninjutsu spiral pills. Is the host instantly full level? Listening to the system's voice, Long Yu's brows couldn't help but twitch. This spiral pill could have been transformed to the extreme by Namikaze Minato. If you can continue to max level, what will happen next? Full level immediately. Long Yu did not hesitate any longer, and immediately issued an order. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for obtaining the Deu spiral pill. Ding dang, detected the host's thunder attribute chakra, and obtained Lei Dun spiral pill. The 2 voices that sounded one after another made Long Yu stunned. Originally, I just planned to imitate the original book, and after learning to rub the balls, I came to a wind escape shuriken. With Deu spiral pill and Lei Dun spiral pill. As for why no other properties appear, I'm afraid it's the system, and it can't check that there are other changes in the properties of chakra in his body. It seems that in the future, I will get a fairy body and rub all the balls that have changed in nature. Long Yu put away his thoughts. Outside, facing the sudden mist ninja, everyone's nerves are tense. As soon as Namikaze Minato left the cave, he issued a few strict orders and rushed to the place where the target appeared with a small group of people. That is the closest place to Konoha and the Land of Water. It is a pity that Minato Namaifung was sent to the battlefield between the Land of Wind and the Land of the Land, and he did not leave the Flying Thunder God technique in the adjacent area of the Land of Water. Otherwise, a space jump would be able to rush to the destination as soon as possible. When Namikaze Minato and his party left, there were originally only 26 strongholds, but the strength of the guards dropped sharply to 12 in an instant. This is still because of Yu Xian and Moonlight Gale. Dad, do I need to do something? Uyuki Xian couldn't help but say. Now the number of enemies is unknown, I'm worried that they will attack the stronghold in a roundabout way. As soon as these words came out, the diligence in the field became a little dignified. The nerves of those who stayed here were also suddenly tense. However, as soon as this kind of worry crept into his heart, Maoyu Kingwu looked back at the cave where Long Yu was located, then secretly breathed a sigh of relief, patted Maoyu Xian on the shoulder and said, "Silly girl, don't worry. The base is understaffed, and Minato-sama is not there, but don't forget that there is also Long Yu." Having said that, Maoyu Kingwu looked at the awakened Moonlight Gale, and warned in a deep voice, "Gao Feng, I hope that the next time you meet with Long Yu, don't make trouble again, he is not an existence that you can compare with." Quote, "Uncle Maoyu, don't worry, my intelligence escort mission has been completed. With that dragon feather there, it won't do much for me to stay here. I will leave the stronghold now and go back to Konoha to return to my life." Leaving those words, Moonlight Blast walked out of the base. However, just after taking 3 or 4 steps, a huge black shadow fell from the sky. Without any bells and whistles, it hit him directly. Boom! The Moonlight Blast was directly crushed to the ground. Feeling the warm and bloody smell on his face, he struggled a little to look up, and the sight made him pale. Yes, it's a corpse. Moonlight Gale almost split his eye sockets, looking at the Konoha ninja who was close at hand, facing his own eyes, who couldn't die any longer. As soon as his feet shook, there was an inexplicable wetness and hotness, making his pants gloriously wet. A smell of urine made the surrounding Konoha ninjas vigilant, and looked at Moonlight Gale with a hint of disgust. Of course, you can't blame the Moonlight Wind. The first time he went to the battlefield, he experienced Anbu's pursuit, Longyu's coercion and teasing, and now he is facing the corpse. Not being frightened to death, which is already good. One after another figure, flashing in all directions. Wu Nin village, after learning that Yun Nin failed to attack the pass, immediately mobilized troops and planned to launch a second wave of attacks. In their eyes, there are only two possibilities for Konoha ninja to resist the first wave of attacks. One pays a heavy price. Two has powerful ninjas as pillars. Chapter 24, Repression. When they saw Konoha, Namikaze Minato, known as the Golden Glitter, left. The so-called important gates are only a dozen or so Konoha ninjas left. For Mist Shinobi, this is completely undefended. So, from the very beginning, they use the trick of adjusting the tiger and leaving the mountain. Use some regular ninjas as bait to lure Minato away. Then, mobilize the elite to raid the pass. They had thought that Namikaze Minato would not be easily led away. However, the current results were beyond their expectations. As long as they break through this pass, they will be able to drive straight in and attack Konoha's rear. At that time, Konoha will be disrupted by the enemy, and the three major battles will be the first to break the balance. The most important thing, this time, in order to make the mission go smoothly, the ninjas sent by Wu Ninja Village are not as strong as the Yun Ninja AB combination. But the one who took the lead was two of the 7 people of the ninja swordsmen who made the ninja world terrified. As a product of the blood fog, the 7 people of the ninja sword are all brutal elites killed in the blood sea. In the face of one, there are only 12 or 3 people left, but they are all within reach. Alert, everyone cheered me up, this time, it's an incredible existence. Maoyu Kangwu looked at the 2 ninjas who took the lead, and his face turned pale. 7 people of ninja swords, shark muscle watermelon mountain puffer fish. Ninja knife 7 people, Black Ho Leia. With the 2 names falling, all Konoha ninjas couldn't help but gasped. Behind them, there are also 50 Mist Ninja elites. Watermelon Mountain is more than 2 meters tall, with a fat body and a seemingly honest appearance. However, in the Mist Ninja Village, none of the ninjas who came out of the Blood Fog era were not psychological changes. This is a ruthless character that even his companions can betray for profit. As for Leia, the Black Ho, he was thin, with black hair, and wore a black robe. The 2 sharp blades in both hands had electric light flowing. Scarlet blood tickled down the blade. The dark whistle just now was obviously his killer. Hee hee, it's all trash, especially the kid over there who peed his pants. Leia laughed playfully. Facing such an opponent, for them who have always been bloodthirsty, there is no challenge at all. Okay, don't forget that there is another tricky Namikaze Minato. We will destroy this pass as soon as possible. Even if he rushes back afterwards, it will not help. Ziguashin looked around coldly. On the gigantic ruins, Wu Ninja, who is several times larger than Konoha, stared at everything in front of him. It made the atmosphere in the field inexplicably depressed. Especially looking at the leader, Ziguashin and Leia in the group of 7 of the ninja sword. The heart seemed to be clenched tightly by an invisible big hand. Hurry up, let Longyu come out to deal with them, or we will all die. Moonlight Gale hurriedly got up on the ground. Longyu. Leia raised his brows and smiled playfully. Which character is this? Why haven't I heard of it? It's not going to be rushed to the doctor, and I'm going to find someone to fool us. However, our Mist and Cloud are different, we are scared. As soon as these words fell, unbridled laughter immediately erupted in the arena. A playful smile appeared on Ziguashin's honest cheeks, and said, okay, let's not scare them, and get rid of them quickly. However, it's really surprising that this kind of little beauty is also on this front line. Wait a while and give her to me, and you can deal with the others. Uyuki Xian's pretty face couldn't help but turn white. Facing the words of Watermelon Mountain, she was completely unexpected. Xian, I'll stop them in a while, you hurry up to the cave and inform Long Yu. Now that Lord Minato is not here, only he can save us. Mao Yu Kingwu shouted sharply. Brothers, open the barrier immediately. The rest of the Konoha ninjas have already tightened their nerves. Facing Mao Yu Kingwu's order, without the slightest hesitation, Yuyan immediately planned to open the barrier. It's too late to shoot now. Ziguashan gave a wicked smile. A white fog blew up without warning and instantly surrounded the entire battlefield. Without any bells and whistles, Watermelon Mountain took the lead. The seemingly fat body, but the movements under his feet are extremely flexible, spanning more than 10 meters in the blink of an eye, and appearing in front of Yu Xian first. It's Mist Ninja Village, the best silent killing technique. Mao Yu Kingwu's face changed dramatically. Feeling the air around him, he shouted anxiously, Xian, be careful. Haha, I'm just thinking about being careful now, it's too late. Ziguashan laughed outrageously. I want this woman. In the fog, Mao Yuxian's expression turned pale, and she hurriedly wanted to dodge. It's a pity that there is no way to hide when you can't see your fingers. However, just as the color of despair climbed up her face, the next moment a dazzling blue sphere like a starry sky passed by her side. A slight air wave stirred up the mist in the sky, and immediately revealed the joking expression on the face of Watermelon Mountain. However, his smile instantly stiffened when he saw the oncoming spiral Maru. Before he could think about it, he hurriedly pulled out the shark muscle he was carrying with his backhand, and without any hesitation, laid it directly in front of his chest. Boom! The spiral pill instantly hit the shark muscle. The huge impact force surged out like a frenzy. Boom! A thunderous explosion resounded suddenly. The resulting hurricane instantly dissipated the surrounding fog. The huge body of Watermelon Mountain flew out like a cannonball. Chapter 25. Rude Words. Wherever they passed along the way, some mist ninjas who rushed out were directly smashed and flew out. In the end, he slammed heavily on a big tree 100 meters away, and barely stopped his figure. However, under the huge impact, the tree was also cut off in the middle. The violent scene made everyone's expressions stiff, even Leia. He is very clear about the strength of Watermelon Mountain. And under the silent killing technique, their mist ninja is even more like a duck to water. Watermelon Mountain was successfully ambushed at a critical moment. This was beyond his expectations. Enemy attack, hurry up to defend. Don't mess up, this kind of attack is not a big problem for Ziguashan, and the silent killing technique is lifted. Seeing the big tree cut off by the middle, the Black Leia shouted in a hurry. The fog shrouded around it quickly dissipated. Originally known as the Mist Ninja, the strongest silent killing technique, but now it is reversed, which is convenient for the enemy. If this matter spreads out, it will definitely bring shame to the village of Kirin. After the fog cleared, Konoha's ninja was equally flustered, but when he saw the Watermelon Mountain lying in the ruins, his life and death were unknown. There are traces of destruction left on the ground, and a trace of joy appeared on his face. Yes, it's Long Yu, he must have shot. With him, we will surely be saved. Idiot, don't forget, hundreds of Yunren were killed by Long Yu, and even the AB group was forced back by him. Looking at the group of Konoha ninjas who were panicked, they all showed joy. The faces of those mist ninjas couldn't help but change. Lord Leia, are we going to retreat? A mist ninja couldn't hold back. However, as soon as the voice fell, Leia swung the knife back. PFF'd. The huge head flew up, and the blood splashed down, giving people a shocking feeling. Disrupting the military's heart, courting death. Leia seemed to have done an ordinary thing. After the corpse was smashed to the ground, he said sharply, the guy who hides his head and shows his tail, get out if you have the guts. Are you looking for me? Long Yu walked out slowly. Taking a look at Mao Yuxian, she said, my little girlfriend, no one can make fun of her. Those who spoke badly, are dead. Mout oh boy. The black Holeya was startled for a moment, and then he laughed unbridled. I thought who attacked us, it turned out to be just a Konoha Chunin. Don't pretend to be dead on Watermelon Mountain, there are sharks, the muscles are there, you can't take much damage at all. Hee hee, Leia, can't you keep a secret for me, this will scare away Konoha's hero. Lying in the ruins, Zigwashin stood up shaking his body. The shark muscle in his hand, which was originally bandaged, has been completely exposed. Looking at the ferocious blade, people have an inexplicable feeling of suffocation. Dad, is this the 7 ninja knives in the Mist Ninja? Uyu Shion can't care about the battle of words now. Kangwoo nodded and said solemnly, Long Yu, be careful, according to the information, the ninja sword in Zigwashin's hand is called Shark Muscle, and it has the characteristics of predatory chakra. Your attack just now is probably out of 10. 9, absorbed by it. Quote. However, Long Yu, how did you learn Minato-sama's spiral pill? In the Konoha people's ninja village, who does not know the ninjutsu of the 3 families of Namikaze Minato? Did you mean spiral pill? Long Yu looked at the shark muscle and smiled knowingly, that's what I just learned. Just now, I was thinking about how to solve the lack of blue. I didn't expect to ignore the existence of the shark muscle. I just happened to be short of a weapon. A small voice swept away from the field. Whether it was Konoha or Wu Ren, they all looked at each other in dismay. Is this a blatant robbery? Ha, boy, this is the funniest joke I've ever heard. Zigwashin laughed unbridledly. I tell you, your attack just now had a good impact, but those chakras were completely plundered by shark muscles. It's empty. If I said that with your heroic blow just now, all the chakras became my possessions, what would your expression be? When the voice fell, Watermelon Mountain showed itself, and let the shark muscle feed back the chakra to him. Looking at this scene, many eyes in the field fell on Long Yu. It seems that you enjoy my chakra very much. Long Yu smiled warmly. However, I hope you can wait a while and laugh. The inexplicable speech made people startled. At the next moment, the thunder arc on Long Yu's body skyrocketed, and the Lei-Dun chakra mode instantly unfolded, turning into a lightning bolt. At almost the same time, a flash of lightning flashed, and Long Yu had already appeared behind Watermelon Mountain. The violent scene made people's nerves suddenly tense. Watermelon Mountain, be careful, Leia hurriedly reminded. Watermelon Mountain's response was not slow, and his fat body did not appear to be slow at all. He clenched the shark muscle in his hand, intending to block again. However, when he entered the scene, his pupils suddenly contracted. Dayu spiral pills. The 5 fingers of Long Yu's right hand are tensed, like a chakra galloping, madly pouring into his hand. A spiral pill with a diameter of millimeters condensed in an instant. Under the violent gesture, I went directly to the Watermelon Mountain. Boom! Suddenly, a thunderous explosion sounded. The frenzied chakra airflow, like a hurricane, devoured the Watermelon Mountain and the shark muscle in an instant. The huge impact force exploded in an instant. The Watermelon Mountain that bears the brunt, like a cannonball, flew out with the big jade spiral pill. The ground along the way also pulled out a shocking gully. Chapter 25, Snapshot. All the trees collapsed suddenly, and finally hit the rock wall thousands of meters away. Boom! The rock wall shattered with a bang, and cracks like spider webs quickly spread open. The surging air waves broke the surrounding trees. Watermelon Mountain, my lord, was shot up again. Looking at the Watermelon Mountain that was knocked into the air again, all the fog couldn't help laughing. The attack this time was at least 10 times stronger than before. Black Holea's face was ashen, and he said, Zigwashin, hurry up, you have shark muscles around you, this kind of attack can't hurt you at all. The hurried voices echoed in the forest. Unfortunately, as the words faded, this time, Watermelon Mountain, which was lying in the ruins, did not stand up for a long time. Just when Leia couldn't hold his breath, a thunderlight appeared on the ruins without warning. It's that kid, that's really fast. When did such a powerful person appear in Konoha? His speed, I'm afraid he won't be too conceited compared to the golden flash of Konoha. The look of Mist Ninja in the field changed. Originally, in their eyes, this was a one-sided war of catching turtles in a urn. But the boy who suddenly appeared in front of him turned everything upside down. I'm sorry, he seems to have been killed by chakra. Long Yu smiled warmly, and picked up the mercurial muscle that fell to the ground. Looking at this scene of Leia, a hint of joy flashed in the depths of his pupils. There is a flaw, Lei Dun Luo Lei. Leia instantly raised the thunder blade in his hand. Under the infusion of chakra, it points directly to the sky. The arc of thunder circulated, and it collided with Tianlei, and a light blue light of lightning struck Long Yu's body instantly. As one of the 7 ninja knives, it is clear that these 7 knives have their own characteristics. Among them, the shark muscle is definitely the most difficult existence to tame in the wild. Boom! At the same time, Leia took the lead and suddenly collided with the thunder knives in both hands. Thunder arcs shot up into the sky. The thunder that was accumulated in the clouds was pulled. In an instant, it turned into 7 or 8 falling thunders, and slashed the dragon feathers straight away. The speed of the thunder came in an instant, looking at Long Yu who was completely blocked by the 7 or 8 thunderbolts. There was a hint of joy on the faces of those mist ninjas. It's time to try the knife. Long Yu smiled genially. The shark muscle in his hand slashed toward the sky. At the moment when the ferocious giant mouth opened, the thunder light in the sky was directly smashed by a knife. Boom! The thunder exploded, and there were arcs splashing. The violent scene caused Leia's complexion to change dramatically. It's impossible, why didn't this shark muscle attack you? As one of the 7 ninja swordsmen, Leia clearly knew that the wildness of the shark muscle was enough to counteract anyone who wanted to control him. Even if you have a strong strength, you should be backlashed by the first contact. Now Long Yu can use the shark muscle casually, which is completely beyond his control. It's weirder than his son now. Long Feng raised his head suddenly, and at the moment of the Jugo Jade writing wheel, even a tailed beast could easily be overwhelmed, not to mention a mere shark muscle. I feel that the little chakra that passed by in the thunder and lightning just now feeds back to myself. After casting the big jade spiral pill in the body, the slightly weaker chakra obviously had a little more. The amount is a little less, but it's a really good weapon. Long Yu looked at Leia and said, if you have 7 people with ninja knives, and you don't even have ninja knives, what do you think you will be called? You bastard, you actually dare to hit us with the idea of forbearance. Leia's face sank, and he said, I finally know who you are, and you dare to take such a big breath. The weird writing wheel eye, and the super fast speed, you are the world in the Uchiha family, Uchiha Shisui. Long Yu rolled his eyes involuntarily. Do not. It should be said that everyone in the field couldn't help but turn around. Lord Leia, you seem to have made a mistake. Uchiha Zishui is known as Shunshi Zishui, and he is best at Shunshu, and in terms of writing wheel eyes and age, it does not match this young man. Shut up, you don't speak, no one thinks you're dumb. Lord Leia is absolutely right in saying that you stop the water in an instant. Leia's cheeks were shaking. Looking at Long Yu who suddenly appeared in the distance, he said sharply, boy, who are you? Who am I? Long Yu smiled warmly, it's the one who killed you. When the voice fell, the thunder light on Long Yu's body skyrocketed, and he took a step, and the whole person was like a thunder, and he rushed out. Come on, use all defensive ninjutsu for me. Leia roared. Since becoming a group of 7 ninja swordsmen, when have they been despised like this? Some of the 30 or 40 mist ninjas around them quickly formed a seal. As the handprints flew and fell, Chakra shouted in unison when he was agitated. Water escaping the wall. One side of the wall of water quickly spewed out all around in an instant, forming a 100-meter-sized defensive line. The rest of the mist ninja looked at each other. Obviously it was the personal guard team under Leia. As the spell seal fell, a large amount of river water was spit out between the mouths. Water escape, great waterfall technique. One after another, the rivers rushed out, and they quickly rolled back around when they were isolated by the water wall. A giant wave was formed, which was photographed head-on, and instantly flooded the terrain in a radius of thousands of meters. Mao Kangwu and the others had already reacted and activated the barrier of the station to keep the river water out. Looking at the mist ninja who changed the terrain for a few seconds, the Konoha ninja present, his face was solemn. In the land of water, the ninjas who came out of the blood mist are really not comparable to other ninja villages. Chapter 26, Tearing the Eardrum. Whether it is chakra volume or teamwork, the timing is very accurate. If they are matched, I am afraid they will lose without a doubt. Boy, where are you running? You're not afraid. Leia gave a wicked smile. The thunder knife in his hand was suddenly raised high, swaying the backlog of thunder in the sky. Boom! A blue thunder light fell from the sky. It fell into the river in an instant, and the crackling thunder light, the moment it encountered the water, the power instantly soared. Like arcs as thick as the mouth of a bull, it swept away like a claws and claws. Uyu Kangwu and the others' faces changed drastically, and they shouted anxiously, "Enhance the chakra output, don't let the barrier be broken." When the barrier opened, the light shined. However, the incoming arc was still like a heavy whip, hitting the barrier, causing it to vibrate violently. "Ha, if you can't hide, then I will break the barrier and let you wag your tail." Leia laughed fiercely. Under the electric light of the lightning blade in his hand, the lightning arc accumulated in the cloud layer also became manic. One after another, the thunder fell like a torrential rain, falling madly. After the enhancement of the water, it turned into 7 or 8 thunder lights, and quickly hit the barrier supported by Mao Kangwu and others. "Senior Uyuki, we won't be able to sustain this kind of attack for long, so hurry up and think of a way." A Chunin couldn't hold back his anger. They do not need to face the attack directly, but continue to send out chakra to enhance the defense of the enchantment. For them, the consumption is also not small. The sweat dripping down his cheeks smashed to the ground drop by drop. "Come on, don't hold back, or we will all die." Mao Kangwu suddenly spoke up. His face turned pale, looking at the distant gaze, full of horror. Everyone's nerves suddenly tense. He quickly looked up and followed his gaze. Long Yu was in midair, and the spiral pill in his hand glowed a purple-blue color. One after another thunder arcs circulated, ravaging the surrounding space. An indescribably dangerous smell was born from the heart. "I'm sorry, it's the first time I used it. I was a bit novice, and I wasted a little time. Now I'm praying for you." Long Yu smiled genially. The thunderbolt spiral pill in his hand was thrown out instantly. PFF'd. The air seemed to be torn apart, and under the raging thunder, it was like a meteorite falling from the sky. Directly into the water below. Boom! The crazy backlog of thunder light exploded in an instant. The form is compressed to the extreme, coupled with the pervasive lightning attribute. One after another, the small lightning rods like cow hair, under the powerful explosive force of the spiral pill, became like lightning rod bombs. With the help of the strong conductivity of water, the area changed by Mist Ninja instantly became a weapon in Long Yu's hands. Boom! The sound of thunder shook the sky, giving people a feeling of tearing the eardrums. The blue electric light illuminated the whole world and took away everyone's vision. The violent explosive force instantly penetrated the water shield wall composed of dozens of mist ninjas. One after another, slender lightning rods like hairs pierced their bodies directly. Powerful current volts, coupled with fierce shredding and destructive power. The structure of the entire body was shattered in an instant. The next moment, the sound exploded into a blood mist and merged into the seawater. Dozens of mist ninjas turned into blood mist at the same time, and this scene almost made people's eyes split open. Only thing that makes people feel fortunate, Lei Dun's Spiral Maru is mainly to attack Kirin. Otherwise, just relying on Konoha's four-sided enchantment, I am afraid that it will be broken down in an instant. The river water that has lost the support of chakra is difficult to maintain its original state. The next moment it collapsed on the ground and passed away directly. After everything was restored to its original state, the ruins that had fought against Yunren had a huge pit with a diameter of several hundred meters. On the edge of the deep pit, there are countless potholes and small holes. These are the puncture marks left by the lightning rod. 2 thunder knives were inserted obliquely in the ruins. As for those mist ninjas, they had already turned into flesh and blood and washed away with the river water. The Konoha ninja who witnessed this scene had already dropped his chin. It has only been a short while since the Yun ninja invasion not long ago. The last time a Lei-dun unicorn killed hundreds of Yunren. Now that he has encountered dozens of mist ninjas, a thunderbolt spiral Maru has been killed again. With such an understatement, the 2 waves of attacks disintegrated. Is this still war? Long Yu landed in the ruins, watching the arcs circulating on the 2 thunder knives, constantly seeping into the soil. A playful smile appeared on his face. Lei Ya, you're the only one left now, why can't you escape? Where did the confidence just now go? Long Yu said. A pale hand protruded from the soil of the ruins, and one caught the thunder knife. Soon everyone saw Lei Ya, whose clothes were tattered and covered in blood. As soon as he appeared, without any hesitation, he roared hideously. You bastard, I fought with you. Chakra, dormant in Thunder Fang, poured into Thunder Blade desperately. He knew very well that in the face of this young man who might have a shadow-level strength, the only thing he could do was to fight a bloody path. Nice chakra, I just happen to be short of blue. Long Yu smiled even more. With the backhand, take out the shark muscle sucked in the back. Without any bells and whistles, he headed towards Lei Ya. Tear. There was a sound of cloth tearing, and the chakra, which was frantically pouring out of Lei Ya, was bitten away by the shark muscle in an instant. After losing Chakra's thunder knife, the flashing thunder light only lasted for a moment, and then annihilated between heaven and earth. Chapter 27. Be careful, there are enemy attacks. The sharp thorns of the shark muscle were like dozens of sharp knives, instantly severing his chest. The blood splashed and the white bones pierced, giving people a shocking feeling. The violent scene made Lei Ya stunned. As a group of 7 ninja knives, he never imagined that he would eventually die on the ninja knives. You're definitely not a nameless person, just who are you? Lei Ya said intermittently. The one who killed you. Long Yu said with a playful smile. Dead man, you have no right to know my name. You. Lei Ya spit out a mouthful of blood, and finally died out of breath, fell to the ground and died. With the dust stirring, a group of Konoha ninjas who lost their minds were able to react. Long Yu put away the thunder knife with his backhand and said, I leave it to you here. If not, I will go back to rest. Abandoning these words, Long Yu seemed to have done something unimportant. On the other hand, Minato Namikaze and the others rushed to dozens of kilometers away and found the place of Kirin. After a lot of hard searching, I finally came across a few mist ninjas. PFF'd. The kunai in Namikaze Minato's hand slashed the last Kirin's throat in an instant. Seeing the fall to the ground, Mist couldn't help but sank. Minato-sama, this one is also Chunin. According to the traces, there should be hundreds of Wujin here, but now we have only encountered 8 Chunin. After looking at the dead Wujin on the ground, Anufeng glanced at the dead Wujin on the ground. Can't stop getting angry. No, I'm afraid this is a trick. Namikaze Minato suddenly changed his expression. Inufeng couldn't help but startled and said, Mizumin-sama, are you saying that Wu Ren has the heart to lead our main force away, and then send someone to attack the stronghold? However, there is Long Yu in the stronghold, we don't have to worry too much. After witnessing the first battle of Yun Ninja, Inufeng and other Konoha ninjas, Long Yu had a full sense of security for them. No, Long Yu just fought a battle. His strength is very good, but I'm still a little worried. Minato looked worried and said, here is my flying thunder god Kuwu, you hold it, what do you have? Things, activate with chakra, and I'll be there right away. I'll go back to the base first to see if Kirin has done anything." Leaving those words, Namikaze Minato instantly disappeared like a ghost out of thin air. With the help of the flying thunder god mark left along the way, Minato Namikaze made several jumps and finally appeared in the stronghold. "Be careful, there is an enemy attack," Maoyu Kingwu shouted in a hurry. One after another kunai suddenly roared towards Minato Namikaze. The violent scene made Nika's Minato startled for a while, but he disappeared again and appeared beside Azuki Kingwu. He was about to pat him on the shoulder to signal his reassurance, but when he entered the huge pit, his pupils shrunk suddenly. The attack failed in an instant. Looking at this familiar space ninjutsu, the Konoha ninja present couldn't help but startled. "It's Master Watergate." Maoyu Kingwu regained his senses and looked at the shocked Minato, with a hint of pride on his face, and said, "Lord Minato, you missed it again. Not long after you left, Wu Ninja led a sneak attack. There were 40 to 50 people, and the leaders were the Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost and Black Holea. You didn't see that as soon as Long Yu appeared, a spiral pill smashed the Watermelon Mountain into the air. Then, Ziguashin stood up as if nothing had happened, and Long Yu filled him with an extra-large spiral pill and smashed him to death. Then, Leia asked Wu Ninja to change the terrain, and Long Yu used another Lei Dun's spiral pill to blow them into a bloody fog." Looking at Maoyu Kingwu, who was chattering endlessly, even the spittle stars were flying everywhere. Uyu Xian glared at him and said, "Don't take offense, Mizuno-sama, my father's vulgar description. Long Yu and Mist Ninja just used 4 moves to solve them. According to my understanding, the first move is Minato-sama's spiral pill, the second move is a super large spiral pill, and the third move is a spiral pill with a changed thunder attribute. When Long Yu used up his 3 moves, only the seriously injured Black Holea was left on the battlefield, and he was finally killed by Long Yu with his shark muscle when he was desperately trying." Hearing this explanation, Minato Namikaze was stunned. As for the power of Spiral Maru, he is very clear that it is a ninjutsu. From his point of view, this has been developed to the extreme. But I never imagined that as soon as it was taught to others, people would use it in different ways. Moreover, 3 balls solved a war, which is too shocking. "Azuki, where is Long Yu?" Minato Namaifeng said anxiously. At the beginning, he was still doubting Long Yu's talent for learning ninjutsu. The talent that is present at the moment is not only the ability to instantly learn the spiral pill. He also tempered the changes in his original form to the extreme, but he did not expect that Long Yu would not only improve his form to a higher level. It also incorporates property attribute changes. If anyone saw it with his own eyes, Minato Namikaze would never believe it. "Lord Watergate, Long Yu is resting in the cave." Maoyu Kingwu was stunned for a moment. When had he seen Minato, who is known as Konoha most likely to become the 4th Hokage, would be so rude? "I'll go back when I go." Minato Namikaze dropped these words and directly cast the Flying Thunder God technique, disappearing in place. In the cave, Long Yu just stretched his waist, his expression condensed, and the 5 fingers of his right hand were slightly bent. Chakra poured frantically and instantly condensed into a spiral pill. Without any bells and whistles, he smashed directly behind him. Chapter 28. The Visitor is Not Good. As soon as Namikaze Minato appeared, he saw the rapidly expanding spiral pill in his pupil, his expression changed, and he hurriedly jumped in time and space again, appearing 7 or 8 meters away. "I didn't expect you to keep so many flying thunder gods." Long Yu scattered the spiral pill in his hand. Minato Namikaze smiled helplessly and said, "You are really perverted. You not only learned the spiral pill, but also hone the change of form to a further level, and even the change of nature is integrated into one. Do you want to learn?" Long Yu smiled playfully. Namikaze Minato shook his head and said, "Forget it. I've been thinking about it for so long by myself, but I can't retrain the spiral pill to the ultimate form. It seems that it is more suitable for you. However, I still know some common ninjutsu. Do you want to learn it?" For this suggestion, Long Yu did not refuse. Since he could not learn the technique of Flying Thunder God temporarily, it is not a bad thing to temporarily master other ninjutsu. In a flash, 3 days have passed. Wind escape, great breakthrough. The wind tunnel chakra in Long Yu's mouth swelled suddenly, and the next moment he swallowed it. The hurricane was like a tidal wave, turning into a wind blade after another, with a stern sound of breaking the air, and instantly cut off the trees along the way in the blink of an eye. Directly emptied the forest in front of this clearing. Perverted, you will soon learn Feng Dun. Minato Namaifeng shook his head helplessly. Back then, it took him 3 days to learn this ninjutsu. Now Long Yu, it only took half a day. This is too shocking. Of course, Long Yu deliberately created it for a long time. Otherwise, Namikaze Minato will know that he has learned this ninjutsu, but it will only be full level in an instant. I'm afraid even the jaw dropped in shock. Ding dang, detected the chakra attribute of the wind in the host's body, whether it is instantly full level. Yes, Long Yu hurriedly ordered. In the past 3 days, in addition to learning some basic ninjutsu, he also delved into various attribute changes. In addition to Wind Dun, there are Fire Dun, and Water Dun. Various spiral pills have already been developed by Long Yu. However, in order to avoid being too shocking, Long Yu did not show it. Congratulations to the host, Feng Dun's chakra attribute has changed to full level. Congratulations to the host, activate the Wind Escape Spiral Pill Shuriken to full level. Listening to the familiar sound of the system, Long Yu smiled knowingly. Long Yu, Lord Minato, Konoha's reinforcements have arrived. Uyuki Shion glanced at Long Yu. A hint of worry flashed in his pupils. Konoha's reinforcements. Long Yu smiled warmly. Do you want to see me by name? Looks like a bit of a bad visitor. WDM Watergate's expression changed slightly. He stayed here for 3 days, and he originally received the task of guarding the pass by Konoha. Originally, after discovering the existence of Long Yu, he could leave early. However, for the sake of Long Yu, he still decided to stay. Long Yu, wait a moment, I'll come out with something. Minato Namaifeng reminded. For the senior management of Konoha, whether the behavior of AI has changed to the appearance of Long Yu. Namikaze Minato did not dare to gamble. I have seen with my own eyes, Long Yu's ability to learn against the sky. Namikaze Minato has classified it as a special writing wheel, with a powerful ninjutsu copy ability and extension ability. Only then can he learn the ninjutsu he taught in a short period of time. 3 days ago, he secretly passed this matter back to the 3 generations of Hokage. Now that Konoha has reinforcements arriving, Namikaze Minato hopes to represent the will of the 3 generations of Hokage. Inside the cave, in the dark night of moonlight, Uchiha Fugaku, and a joinin wearing an Anbu mask arrived with 50 Konoha ninjas. After Nika's Minato sent the information back, the 3 generations of Hokage immediately issued an emergency call to recall Moonlight Dark Night, one of the 8 colors of Konoha. At the same time, Uchiha Fugaku, who was originally the captain of the Konoha Guard, was also summoned. The purpose of the 3 generations of Hokage is very simple, since Uchiha Longyu has opened a special writing wheel. Only Uchiha Fugaku, who is the contemporary patriarch of the Uchiha clan, is qualified to check it out. I understand more about the mystery of Ziba Sharoten. Regardless of the fact that this matter is done very carefully, the deployment of large troops. There was also a pass that was not broken, which led to the route led by Danzo, who also learned of this. He inserted his hand directly and dispatched the ninja at the route. The euphemism is to help guard the pass, but the real idea is unknown. Maoyu Kangwu, where is Long Yu, why is he gone? The ninja at the route suddenly spoke up. Uchiha Fuyu's expression was stagnant, and he said, someone has already notified him. I heard that he is with Minato, let's wait a little longer. Uchiha Fugaku, as the chief captain of the Konoha Guard, has some power. However, outside the Uchiha clan, these powers are not given much attention. At least, as an Anbu root under Danzo, he has always been hostile to the Uchiha family. HMPH, Uchiha Ryu's purpose and identity are not clear, and the importance of this pass is the most important. He left the pass without authorization. This is ignoring our Konoha's safety and playing his duties. The ninja at the root snorted coldly and said, "What if he has any intentions and takes our Konoha's important information and takes refuge in a foreign enemy? What should we do?" The expressions of the ninjas present changed drastically. For a village, the most important thing is loyalty. Whether it is the second-generation Hokage, or the current high-level Danzo. The Uchiha family has always been regarded as the head and the bones. It is for this reason that the gathering place of the Uchiha clan has been crowded out and moved to the edge of Konoha village. The purpose is to beware of the mutiny of the Uchiha clan. Chapter 29. Go up and catch him. Ryu Yamanaka, what you said seems a bit too much. Uchiha Fuyu frowned. Dragon Yu and Minato are together, and he is the younger generation that I personally watched and grew up with. He has absolutely no dissent towards Konoha, and he will not leak Konoha's information. Uchiha Fuyu and Uchiha Longyu belong to the relationship of uncle and nephew. For a long time, Uchiha Fuyu has not spent any less effort on the cultivation of the Uchiha family. It is a pity that Uchiha Longyu is at most an ordinary clan in his eyes. If it wasn't for the relationship between uncle and nephew, it might not be too much, reminding Minato Namito to take care of him at critical moments. But Uchiha Fuyu never imagined that Longyu would hide so deeply, not only awakening the legendary kaleidoscope writing wheel eye. Also has such a powerful pupil power. What's more, it was Longyu who suddenly showed this kind of unparalleled power. It is so different from the mediocrity of the past that many high-level officials in Konoha have spoken. Among them, Danzo immediately concluded that Longyu was someone with ulterior motives. HMPH, Patriarch Fuyu, what you said is from the perspective of the patriarch, or as an uncle and nephew, to justify Uchiha Ryu. Yamanaka Ryu also snorted coldly and said, "If I were you, for the sake of makes things seem more fair. Quote, I advise you to return to Konoha Ninja Village for monitoring and inspection now, and at the same time give up participating in this matter and hand Longyu to our route for investigation. If, Uchiha Longyu, there is really no problem at all, we will not embarrass him." Uchiha Fuyu's expression turned ashen. These remarks are undoubtedly Danzo's plan to cross the 3 generations of Hokage and detain Longyu in advance. With Danzo's prejudice against the Uchiha clan, Longyu falls into his hands. Whether he can come back is another matter. Captain of the Mountain Squadron, I, Maoyu Kingwu, are willing to guarantee my life. Longyu has absolutely no objection. He not only repelled Yunren, but also Wu Ren's intruders at the critical moment. Maoyu Kingwu couldn't help it. Opened his mouth. So, our Konoha ninjas here are willing to use the forehead guard to vouch for Longyu. As soon as these words came out, the Konoha ninjas who were originally stationed in the pass and were rescued by Longyu all agreed with solemn expressions. The expressions of Uchiha Fuyu and Moonlight Haya also changed. They never thought that in just 2 or 3 days, Longyu's prestige would rise to this level. Damn, are you planning to rebel? Shan Zonglong also snorted coldly. Whether Uchiha Longyu is guilty or not, that is the matter of the senior officials of Konoha. You are not qualified to intervene. If it happens again, I will take you back to Konoha for investigation now. I don't want to hear this kind of talk a second time. Quote. Uyuki, don't forget your family, you just joined our Konoha ninja village, don't cause your family to be treated unfairly because of your recklessness. Uyu Kingwu's expression changed. In fact, their family has always had an alliance with Konoha. Almost like a mercenary. Unfortunately, due to the constant wars and the sneak attacks of the Avengers, the population of their family gradually dwindled. The combat power is declining, and it is impossible to protect themselves. In the end, he joined Konoha Ninja Village and became one of them. As for the true combat power, the Azuki clan, with only 3 or 5 members remaining, certainly did not pay attention to the senior management of Konoha. Moreover, this is a critical moment in wartime. The opening of the 3 major battlefields makes Konoha more urgently in need of combat power. Therefore, with the addition of Uyu Kangwoo, it is logical to become Shangnin. Now, as soon as Shan Zonglong opened his mouth, he threatened with his family, which made Uyu Kangwoo instantly powerless. HMPH, what's the matter, can't you talk? Yamanaka Ryu also snorted coldly and said, now hurry up and escort Uchiha Ryu back. Before we figure out his purpose, we will be responsible for this matter. Quote. Everything is for the safety and stability of Konoha Shinobi Village. As soon as these words came out, even Azuki Kangwoo's expression stiffened, regardless of whether it was Uchiha Fuyu. Yamanaka Long also did this. No doubt, he directly hit 30 big boards without interrogation. He directly convicted Long Yu. Hee, I didn't expect the roots to be so majestic, just ran 2 chops, and another old chop. A frivolous voice suddenly came from outside the cave. Long Yu strode forward, followed by Minato. They were outside, listening to all of this, especially Minato's face, which was extremely pale. When he sent the information back to Konoha Shinobi Village, he repeatedly emphasized that he must use the policy of empathy for Long Yu. Even if you can't be friends, you can't be enemies. Unfortunately, Namikaze Minato never imagined that Tuanzang would have to force his way in at such a juncture. You bastard, you dare to speak rudely. It seems that you have been lurking in the Konoha ninja village for a long time, and you really have ulterior motives. Yamanaka Long also attacked instantly. Go up and catch him. Behind him, the root ninja under his command rushed out of 4 and walked towards Long Yu. Go away. Long Yu gave a cold scolding, and a huge scarlet chakra burst out like a frenzy. The expressions of the 4 Anbu ninjas suddenly changed. There was a muffled groan in his mouth, and he took 2 or 3 steps back. Moreover, this breath not only affects the 4 Anbu. Even the entire cave was filled with this catastrophic force. Feeling this huge aura, whether it was Yamanaka Ryuya, even Uchiha Fuyu and Moonlight Haya, their expressions changed drastically. They had guessed how powerful Long Yu was. However, the aura that erupted right now was completely beyond their expectations. I never imagined that a boy of 15 or 16 would possess such power. Sure enough, it is the power of Ziba recorded on the stone tablet. Uchiha Fugaku also muttered to himself when his expression changed. According to Madara Uchiha's description, the direct awakening of the kaleidoscope writing wheel is called Ziba. It means that the pupil power that traces its origin has the opportunity to awaken the chakra eye. Chapter 30, Black Flame. However, the powerful pupil power that Long Yu exudes now not only has the feeling of being straight, but also has a more ominous smell than the tailed beast. This kind of feeling will only appear when facing the 9 tails. Arrogant, we are the captains stationed at the pass this time. You are a mere chunin, and you dare to disrespect us. Shan Zonglong also changed his expression. The following is a violation of military discipline and should be taken into custody immediately. Namikaze Minato, Uchiha Fuyuke, you guys don't hurry up and catch Long Yu. As soon as it is exported, it is an unwarranted crime. This kind of familiar feeling is undoubtedly a rehearsal. In other words, Danzo has arranged it this way from the beginning. Namikaze Minato and Uchiha Fugaku stiffened. This mountain dragon also clearly sees that they have a good relationship with Long Yu. This kind of order was specially issued to limit Long Yu's resistance. At the same time, there is no need to let his subordinates take action to reduce the casualties of the roots. This is totally a good calculation that kills 2 birds with 1 stone. Hee, people at the roots are really shameless. You give me one of the following crimes, and you sold the information of the stronghold to Yunren's Shan Zongfeng and the oil girl to take their roots. Did you kill them or hand them over to the 3 generations of Hokage to be punished? That's it, Long Yu said with a half smile. Or else, you dealt with the crimes yourself and took them into custody. The expressions of all Konoha's ninjas changed drastically. They have also heard a little about the fact that Shan Zongfeng and oil girl Tugan betrayed information about the stronghold. Originally, according to their calculations, hundreds of Yunren elites, led by the AB group, had to break through the barrier and kill Uchiha Longyu, but it was an easy task. As long as the people in the stronghold, all died. What they did was unknowable. However, they never imagined that the variable Longyu would appear at this juncture. Not only does he have a powerful Sharingan, but he also killed hundreds of Yunren and repelled the AB combination. When this matter came back to Konoha, it was a shock. Moreover, Yunren's next-generation Raikage successor, obviously suspected that Shan Zongfeng and Oil Girl took the route, gave him false information, and threw the scroll to Longyu. Of course, if this is really a plot to invite you to enter the urn, it is a great achievement for the route. But I obviously misunderstood the intention of Shan Zongfeng and Oil Girl to take the route, so he gave the scroll to Longyu. A small questioning voice echoed in the cave. Mountain Longyi's expression was ashen, staring at Longyu viciously. He is the father of Shan Zongfeng and a student of Danzo. This time, he took the initiative to take this task, just to wash the mountain wind and pour sewage on Longyu's body. I never thought that as soon as Longyu appeared, he went straight to the theme. A mere chunin, this kind of thing is out of your hands. Mountain strokes and oily girls take their roots. They are people from our roots. If something is wrong, of course our roots will handle it. When Namikaze Minato and the others heard the words, their brows couldn't help frowning. Dealing with one's own people, this is no doubt nowhere to be said. Hehe, it seems that what you said is the truth, whether you are a traitor or not, or you have the final say. Longyu smiled warmly. Since this is the case, should I handle my affairs myself? Boy, what nonsense are you talking about? Shan Zonglong also shouted sharply. Are you questioning our roots and the fairness of Danzo-sama? This is a big sin to despise the senior officials of Konoha. Come on, let me catch him. The four root ninjas, who were originally out of the crowd, looked at each other and stepped out again. Facing this scene, the smile on Longyu's face became even wider, and he said, it seems that the one with the bigger fist is the last word. Then don't blame me for being unkind. The voice fell, and the thunder arc on Longyu's body crackled. The next moment, like a ghost, he disappeared into place out of thin air. Appeared again, and has come to the front of Yamanaka Ryuya. What a great speed! Whether it was the Moonlight Knight or Uchiha Fugaku, his expression changed drastically. Not to mention, the mountain dragon who faces Longyu. He did not expect that Longyu would suddenly attack him under the pressure of such high-level officials. Without any bells and whistles, the probe grabbed his neck instantly. Boy, you are courting death. Yamanaka Long also shouted angrily. However, he was secretly happy. As long as Longyu is in the public eye, he will take action against him. The trumped-up charges will be fully confirmed. However, when he tried to manipulate his body, his expression changed drastically when he met those eyes that were as scarlet as blood. Can't you move? Longyu smiled playfully. He had already used the hypnotic eye properties of Sharingan to bind Ryuya Yamanaka's body. If he hadn't deliberately left his consciousness, I'm afraid he would have already sunk into the realm of illusion. For a person, there is nothing more terrifying than the inability to control one's own destiny. Uchiha Ryu, what are you going to do? Hurry up and let me go, I'm the delegation, Mr. Zhang. Yamanaka Ryu also shouted in a hurry. Longyu didn't take it to heart at all, and said with a smile, I represent myself, you are very annoying to me, so go die. Longyu, be merciful. WFC Shuaman hurriedly discouraged. Unfortunately, the dark flames suddenly soared and spread over Ryuya Yamanaka in an instant. The scorching high temperature and the heart-piercing pain helped Shan Zonglong break free from the shackles of illusion. Before he could react, Long Yu threw Shan Zonglong out of the cave with his backhand. Boom! Yamanaka Long also smashed to the ground, and before he had time to think about it, he hurriedly rolled on the ground, intent to annihilate the black flames on the body. However, all this fell into the eyes of Mao Yu Kingwu and others, but it seemed pale and powerless. Save me, why can't this flame be extinguished? Hurry up with water escape. Those who are proficient in water escape, hurry up and save me. Shan Zonglong also roared hysterically. The four root ninjas looked at each other and performed water escape ninjutsu one after another. Water escape, water fluctuation. Water escape, water sudden spring. Water escape, water dragon bomb. Water escape, water whip. Looking at the last two root ninjas, I even used water dragon bullets and water whips. Long Yu was really impulsive, and wanted to ask the two of them if they had a grudge against Shan Zonglong. However, along with the water escape ninjutsu, they smashed into Ryuya Yamanaka. The jet black flame still showed no sign of going out. Chapter 31. Don't Provoke. This strange scene made people feel a chill, rising straight from the soles of the feet. No, Long Yu, let me go, I am just doing things for Danzang, this has nothing to do with me, I don't want to die. Shan Zonglong was also desperate, struggling to crawl towards Long Yu. Unfortunately, everything looked pale and weak, and Amaterasu, which was stained with water vapor, burned even more vigorously. In an instant, the mountain dragon was also swallowed. With the screams, everyone fell into the ice cellar. A deeper understanding of Amaterasu. Unless you are proficient in the art of sealing, or don't let black flame get close. Otherwise, once hit, no one can save it. After the screams dissipated, the mountain dragon in the black flames turned into flying ashes. The burnt smell that filled the air made people feel like retching at the same time. Looking at Long Yu's eyes, there was a little more awe and panic. Inconsistent words can directly kill the black flame. Moreover, once the shot is taken, there is still no way to rescue it, which is also a despair for other people. As for whether there is still the confidence to provoke, I am afraid the premise is to weigh yourself. Inside the huge cave, there was a burning smell. Everyone looked at the thin figure, and in the depths of their pupils, a trace of inexplicable fear flashed. In a single move, he killed Yamanaka Ryuya, who had the strength of Shangnin. Such means, at least I am afraid that they have shadow-level strength, right? Are you still going to catch me? Long Yu looked at the four Anbugen ninjas. The faces of the four root ninjas changed dramatically, and they shook their heads quickly. No, we're just following orders. Long Yu, they can't help themselves. Minato Namikaze quickly discouraged him. In their eyes, it would be a nightmare if Long Yu started to kill. HMPH, go back and tell Danzo, don't provoke me, go crazy, I'm afraid of myself. Long Yu snorted coldly. The four root ninjas fled as if they were granted amnesty. Minato, hey, I want to chat with Long Yu alone. Uchiha Fugaku said suddenly. Moonlight Haya's expression stagnated, and he stopped talking, but was stopped by Minato Namika. Big brother Fuyu, it's wartime, be careful. Don't worry, we'll be back soon. Uchiha Fuyu glanced gratefully at Minato Namikaze, and then looked at Long Yu. Uncle Fu. Long Yu rolled his eyes helplessly. Of course, he knew what Uchiha Fuyu was thinking, and said, let's go out and talk. As Uchiha Fuyu and Long Yu left, the inexplicable depression in the huge cave still did not dissipate. Did you really want to ask me, why didn't you stop it just now? Minato Namikaze looked at the moonlit night. All Konoha ninjas looked stagnant, and their faces were full of question marks. Moonlight Haya nodded and said, Minato, with your speed and strength, it shouldn't be difficult to rescue the dragon in the mountain in time. I also want to know, why don't you help? Do you hate Danzo? There are many political parties in Konoha. However, in the final analysis, there are only Danzo of the Hawk faction, the 3 generations of the Wairo faction, and the Uchiha clan whose position is uncertain. And Namikaze Minato was under the command of Jiraiya, a three-generation Hokage disciple, and obviously belonged to the same faction. No, Senior Moonlight, you underestimated Long Yu. His strength and talent can be described as terrifying, no matter if the difficulty is A-level or S-level ninjutsu, what kind of attribute changes. As long as he makes a move, it only takes half a day to learn. If you were faced with a young man with such a terrifying potential and the roots of Danzang, what would you choose? The voice fell, and the expression of the ninja in the field was stagnant. The Moonlight Knight is even more shocked. Senior Moonlight, I hope you don't delay Konoha's major events because of some trivial matters. Now is a critical moment in wartime. Any variable will make Konoha fall into a state of doom. Minato glanced at Moonlight Gale. I still heard a little bit about the fact that he held a grudge against Long Yu. Moonlight Dark Knight's face sank, and he said, Watergate, I will be measured. That's best, I'll go out and have a look. Minato Namikaze dropped those words, turned and left. Dad, didn't you say, help me teach that Long Yu a lesson, with your strength, it's easy to deal with him. Moonlight Blaze was full of resentment. Shut up, I'm measured in this matter. Moonlight Haya glared at him, then waved to the other ninjas to go down to rest. In the huge karst cave, only Maoyu Kingwu and Dogfeng were left. Kingwu, I want to know, your evaluation of that kid. Remember that this is about Konoha's high-level evaluation of Uchiha Longyu. Moonlight Haya said. Maoyu Kingwu and Anufeng looked at each other and said, don't provoke them. The simple answer made the Moonlight Dark Knight feel caught off guard, and subconsciously looked at Inufeng. Don't provoke. The answer of such a withdrawal made the Moonlight and Dark Knight look stagnant. Boom. A violent explosion sounded suddenly in the cave. The next moment, a hurricane swarmed like a tidal wave. The violent scene made Moonlight Haya and the others' faces change drastically, and they hurried away before they had time to think about it. 10,000 meters away, a deserted forest clearing. Uchiha Fuyu followed Long Yu. Looking at the road in front of him, the thin figure, his expression condensed, and disappeared out of thin air. Instant. Uchiha Fuyu suddenly appeared behind Long Yu, and Kulu turned his hand into his hand and stabbed directly to the back. When Long Yu's backhand blocked instantly. Uchiha Fuyu's expression changed, his right foot flipped, and he kicked Long Yu's head like lightning. At the same time, his right hand touched his waist, and 3 shuriken flew out. For a time, the triple attack completely blocked Long Yu from going up, down, and down. Uncle Fu, your testing is too boring. Long Yu rolled his eyes helplessly. There was a crackling sound on his body, and he immediately entered the chakra mode. Under the flickering violent thunder, Long Yu retreated to a dozen meters away like a ghost. At the same time, Uchiha Fugaku's right foot attack failed instantly. The 3 shuriken wrapped around a special metal wire collided with each other, and flew towards the dragon feather again. Fire escape dragon fire technique. Uchiha Fuyu flipped his hands and had extraordinary combat experience. Under the fiery chakra in his mouth, he followed the steel wire and quickly swept away towards Long Yu. The flaming flames turned into 3 100-meter-long fire dragons, showing the posture of showing their teeth and claws. Long Yu, our uncle and nephew haven't played against each other for a long time. Our Uchiha clan is best at fire escape ninjutsu. Let me see how far you have progressed. Uchiha Fuyu said solemnly. I can only hold fireballs. Long Yu rolled his eyes helplessly and said, forget it, although the level is 2 levels off, but let me see, it's better to give up. The inexplicable words made Uchiha Fuyu startled. The next moment, looking at Long Yu's hand that was flying like a wheel, the speed of the printing was unbelievable, and his face changed drastically. Chapter 32, Long Yu's Strength. Do not. It should be said that even the eye sockets are split. Fire escape how fireball technique. The magic seal in Long Yu's hand stopped suddenly, and the hot chakra accumulated in his mouth was instantly swallowed. The heat wave was like a wave, and the flaming flames condensed in an instant, turning into a huge fireball with a diameter of tens of meters. Do not. It should be said that it is the sun. The trees along the way collapsed at the sound, and the three fire dragons looked extremely small in front of the sun-like fireball. A short distance of 100 meters, but they collided in the blink of an eye. Boom! The fire dragon was crushed in an instant, and the giant fireball with a diameter of tens of meters only paused slightly. The next moment, with a rolling posture, he attacked Uchiha Fuyuke in the air. Also a fire escape ninjutsu, Uchiha Fuyu originally thought that he was the patriarch of the Uchiha clan, and he had mastered the fire escape ninjutsu to perfection. It never occurred to me that as soon as Long Yu made a move, he would use the Hao fireball with the feeling of S-rank ninjutsu. The scorching hot air hit the face, making people feel dry mouth. Along the way, the scorched ground collapsed, the scorching heat, and even the rocks melted. Looking at the rapidly expanding fireball in his pupils, Uchiha Fuyu's eyes suddenly widened. Kaleidoscope writing wheel eye. A light blue light suddenly appeared on Uchiha Fugaku's body. Illusory skeleton people, quickly condensed. This is Susanoo. Boom! The fireball of Hao hit Susanoo's body instantly. The fiery fire wave exploded like a frenzy, sweeping out in a rolling gesture. The trees along the way were broken at the waist, and the flaming flames rose into the sky. The huge explosion power directly covered a radius of 1 kilometer. Big Brother Fuyu, what happened? Namikaze Minato arrived first. Feeling the fiery wave of fire, under the flying of both hands, the seal of water escape was formed. Water escape water dragon bomb. Roar! The three water dragons condensed out of thin air and smashed directly into the endless sea of fire. The oncoming fire wave was instantly extinguished. At the same time, Uchiha Fuyu rushed out of the sea of fire, and the kaleidoscope writing wheel has long since returned to its normal form. Water escape, great waterfall technique. At the same time as the massive chakra surged out, it instantly drowned the earth in all directions. The fiery fire wave was annihilated directly, and a large amount of water mist was transpired. Wind escape, tornado. Namikaze Minato continued to shoot. As the hurricane rolled over, the mist that shrouded the sky and the earth finally disappeared. Watergate, what happened? Moonlight Dark Knight hurriedly arrived. Looking at the scorched trees with a radius of 1,000 meters, he said anxiously, "It's not that Long Yu wanted to escape, and he used some forbidden technique. Dad, it must be like this, hurry up and join hands with Mizuno-sama to catch Long Yu." Moonlight Gale quickly echoed. However, he was quickly startled by the figure falling in front of him. "What's the matter, are you talking bad about me?" Long Yu glanced at Moonlight Gale and smiled genially. Moonlight Blast couldn't help but snorted, took a half step back, stumbled under his feet, and fell to the ground. "Hey, Minato, don't get me wrong, I just checked Long Yu's strength. The explosion just now was caused by a fireball." Uchiha Fuyu fell immediately. The voice fell, and the expressions of everyone present were stagnant, and they looked at the charred trees with a radius of 1,000 meters, and their faces were stunned. "Fuyu, you are wrong. I heard Maoyu say that Long Yu knows some forbidden techniques. Such a large-scale attack method should be done by forbidden techniques." Moonlight Haya couldn't help but said. As soon as these words fell, the other ninjas did not speak, but the expressions on their faces had already betrayed them. In their eyes, the fireball technique is just a C-rank ninjutsu in the fire escape. The Uchiha family is proficient in the art of fire escape, and can exert the power of the fireball beyond the level. It's obviously impossible to reach this S level, or even the level of a forbidden technique. It's really a fireball, I saw it with my own eyes just now, but this fireball is a bit big, probably about 60 to 70 meters in diameter. Minato Namikaze glanced at Uchiha Fugaku and nodded in agreement. The scene was dead silent. All the Konoha ninjas looked at each other in dismay. Even the Moonlight Knight looked ashen. If someone else said this, they would never believe it. But the person in front of him, Namikaze Minato, said something completely different. A chunin who uses the power of forbidden art with a C-rank fireball. Does this also make them special, or even live? Okay, if there's nothing wrong, I still want to chat with Long Yu, there's no problem. Uchiha Fuyu didn't think of it at all. It's just a simple test that can cause such a big disturbance. Go, be careful, Minato nods in agreement. Can we not talk about it? Long Yu rolled his eyes helplessly. However, seeing the stubbornness on Uchiha Fuyu's face, Long Yu had no choice but to turn around and lead the way. Watching the two figures go away, Minato Namikaze glanced at the moonlight and darkness, did not stay any longer, and turned back to the base. Long Yu's strength exceeded his knowledge one after another. He wants to report what happened here to the third Hokage as soon as possible. Dad, Moonlight Gale struggled to get up. Shut up, Moonlight Haya shouted sharply, you can't bear a single look of trash. I'm asking you now, you haven't killed Long Yu, have you? Moonlight Blast was stunned for a moment, and then said excitedly, Dad, you haven't arrived yet, how dare I do anything to him? Don't worry, I've thought of a lot of ways. As long as Dad takes action, I'll make him regret offending me. Snapped. A crisp slap sounded suddenly. Moonlight Blast was stunned, covering his hot cheeks. Shut up, you bastard, I warn you, don't take action on Long Yu, it will cost the family as well. Moonlight Haya scolded angrily. This time, it seems that the Uchiha clan has a more terrifying existence than Shushin Shishui. When these words fell, the expression of the Konoha ninja present changed drastically. If it is said that the previous generation of Konoha in the ninja world is famous in the ninja world, it is Jiraiya, Orochimaru, Tsunade Sanin. There is also the existence of Konoha Bashi. Then, the contemporary strength is relatively outstanding, and the golden flashing wave wind water gate is located at the top of the tower, which instantly stops the water. The next level is the existence of Zuludi and others. In Konoha, the rise of a Uchiha Shisui has made many people feel the crisis. Now there is a more terrifying Uchiha Ryayu. I am afraid that the pattern of the entire Konoha ninja village will change. Hey, you are doing it for yourself. If you can, even if you can't befriend Uchiha Ryayu, you can't be his enemy. Chapter 33, Kaleidoscope Writing Wheel Eyes. After Moonlight Haya left those words, he turned and left. Moonlight was stunned. Do not. It should be said that the Konoha ninja present was no exception. They never thought that one of the dignified Konoha Beis would say such a thing. Thousands of meters away, on a rock, Long Yu stood against the wind, and Uchiha Fuyu stood behind him with a dignified expression on his face. Ask if you have anything. Uncle Fu, don't hesitate. I didn't expect that Uncle Fu would dare to open a kaleidoscope and write round eyes in front of everyone's eyes. Uchiha Fuyu's expression was stagnant, and he didn't expect that his secret would be instantly broken by Long Yu. In the Second Ninja World War, after opening the kaleidoscope shaker, Uchiha Fugaku has never displayed it in front of outsiders. He clearly knew that this force could protect the Uchiha family. It will also push the Uchiha clan to extinction. Uchiha Fugaku smiled helplessly when he thought of facing the arrogant fireball like a forbidden technique just now. I thought I was hiding deep enough, but I didn't expect you to hide deeper than me. Not only did you open the kaleidoscope, but you also have such a superb talent that you can perform ninjutsu to such a degree. However, I want to clarify one thing, which is related to the survival of the Uchiha clan. Long Yu would not explain the misunderstanding of Uchiha Fuyu. He couldn't catch Uchiha Fuyu's hand, and persuaded bitterly that the original Uchiha Ryayu was dead. He came from across, and with the help of the instant full-level system, I only opened the kaleidoscope writing wheel for a few days. If this is true, say it. I am afraid that Long Yu is directly regarded as a mental patient. You're asking me, have you seen Madara Uchiha? Long Yu looked at Fuyuke Uchiha. At this moment, a look of shock flashed across his face, and his pupils were full of disbelief. Although these changes in expressions were quickly hidden by Uchiha Fuyu, they still couldn't escape Long Yu's eyes. From the change of Uchiha Fuyu's demeanor, Long Yu deduced that the original work did not explain why Uchiha Fuyu opened the kaleidoscope writing wheel, and I am afraid that most of the reasons come from Uchiha Madara. Perhaps, from the very beginning, Madara Uchiha wanted to overturn Konoha's borrowing target, not Uchiha Obito. Instead, it was Uchiha Fuyuke. After helping Uchiha Fuyu open the kaleidoscope writing wheel, Uchiha Fuyu's pupil technique was too powerful, and eventually the old and frail Uchiha Madara couldn't control it at all, and finally got out of his control. Later, Uchiha Madara will transfer his target to Uchiha Obito. Then, step by step, the spearhead of revenge was first directed at the Uchiha family. Let Uchiha bring the soil, join hands with Danzo, and let Uchiha Itachi carry out the genocide. You really know the existence of Madara Uchiha, did you help awaken your Sharingan? Uchiha Fuyu suddenly became anxious. Long Yu patted Fuyu's shoulder and said, "Uncle, don't worry, my kaleidoscope writing wheel is naturally awakened, and I don't need him to help me at all. Also, do you think that if I dare to kill the dragon in the mountain, I will become that old immortal puppet?" Looking at Long Yu, no big or small, Uchiha Fuyu glared at him and breathed a sigh of relief. As for Long Yu's domineering behavior just now, even he felt a little prickly. Madara Uchiha wants to make Long Yu surrender, it is indeed impossible. Long Yu, I'm relieved to hear you say this. I won't ask you about it, but don't tell me about Madara Uchiha, that guy is crazy. Uchiha Fuyu said solemnly. However, with your presence, I think he will find you soon, and I hope you will say what you said today. In the eyes of Uchiha Fuyu, it is rumored that Madara Uchiha was killed by heavy trauma in the Valley of the Terminator with the first Hokage Senju. Afterwards, the first Hokage also had too many old injuries in the body, and eventually died of complications. When Uchiha Fuyu saw Madara Uchiha appearing alive in front of him, his heart was indeed full of shock. But in the face of the temptation of power, he finally got on this boat of no return. Uncle Fu, don't worry, I'm not like your mother-in-law and mother. Long Yu rolled his eyes, looked at the forest below, and said, this world is very big, have you ever thought about leaving Konoha with the Uchiha family? Long Yu, what are you talking about? Uchiha Fuyu was stunned. After taking a quick glance around, he said anxiously, you mean the whole family to defect? This will only completely stimulate contradictions, and any ninja village will never allow it. In the eyes of Uchiha Fuyu, he placed all his hopes on Namikaze Minato. As long as he becomes the fourth Hokage, with the friendship between him and Namikaze Minato, they will find ways to ease the relationship between Konoha and the Uchiha family. Now Long Yu suddenly came up with this idea. In Uchiha Fuyu's eyes, it is very likely that it represents the extreme idea of the younger generation. I know that you place your hopes on Minato Namaifeng, but rather than resting your fate in the hands of others, you might as well hold on to it yourself. Long Yu said lightly. He just accidentally crossed over to this body, and he didn't have deep feelings for the Uchiha family. But I didn't want to die, so I said this. Uchiha Fuyu's expression changed, and he was silent. After a long time, he said, I don't want the Uchiha family to bear the infamy. Long Yu, you are still young and don't know what righteousness is. Is it righteous? Long Yu laughed dryly and said, this thing will crush people. However, if you say so, I don't mind my own business. If Konoha's people don't provoke me, I don't want to get into trouble. But if he provokes me, don't blame me, don't miss the old feelings. Looking at the indifferent Long Yu, Uchiha Fuyu felt a strange feeling in his heart. If it is said, the previous Long Yu gave him the feeling of cowardice and inconspicuous. So the current Long Yu, to him, feels like a sharp-edged blade. Also, it's a double-edged sword. Okay, let's stop talking nonsense. Long Yu patted Uchiha Fuyu on the shoulder and said, Uncle Fu, as the patriarch, if you have the opportunity, get in touch with Zishui, and he also turned on the kaleidoscope writing wheel. I also pay more attention to Itachi. If they can grow up smoothly, they can definitely become the first-class powerhouses in the ninja world. Abandoning these words, Long Yu turned around and left. For a time, Uchiha Fuyu was the only one left on the rock, and fell into silence. If it is said, he would fight against him just a moment ago in order to find out the details of Long Yu. Chapter 34. Idea of Moonlight Night. Now it's getting more and more confused. He has paid attention to Uchiha Shisui. It was also suspected that he was the contact object of Uchiha Madara. But I never thought that Uchiha Zishui would also open a kaleidoscope at this age. Moreover, Uchiha Madara did ignore the Itachi, who had just shown his edge. Long Yu, who are you? Who are you hiding so deeply, and what is it for? Is it the location of Hokage Konoha? Uchiha Fuyu couldn't help but mutter to himself. After Long Yu and Uchiha Fuyu separated, his brows couldn't help frowning. Long Yu had already expected Uchiha Fuyu's choice. Moreover, the current Uchiha clan, it can be said that there are too many worms. Not to mention the targeting of Konoha Ninja Village, just some of the younger generation have the mentality of a thug. Often with the help of the identity of the garrison, what protection fees are charged, or what are the bad behaviors. Uchiha Fuyu has been rectified, but unfortunately this is a deep-rooted thinking that has evolved into a bad problem. To a certain extent, it is impossible to change the thinking of some clansmen. Even if Uchiha Fuyu really defected with his family, I am afraid that these people will never miss any opportunity to take revenge on Konoha. Once that time comes, Konoha will have an excuse to annihilate the Uchiha clan. Long Yu, are you finished talking? Inside the cave, Minato Namikaze looked at Long Yu who came back, and secretly heaved a sigh of relief. Do not. It should be said that the people present, including Moonlight Dark Knight, also gambled here. Bet on whether Long Yu will defect and leave Konoha Ninja Village. After all, after seeing it with his own eyes, Long Yu can even use C-rank ninjutsu as a banned post-operative. Clearly understand the words of the Moonlight Knight. I would rather be a stranger than be an enemy. What's the matter, do you think I'll run away? Long Yu glanced at Minato Namifung. Don't worry, there is no one in this world that I should be afraid of. Looking at Long Yu who was full of confidence, these words seemed a bit defiant, but no one dared to refute. Minato Namikaze shook his head with a wry smile and said, of course I know. However, the attack of Wu Ren and Yun Ren has already been defeated by you. In a short period of time, they will not dare to touch this place. So, the stronghold will be taken over by Moonlight Dark Knight, and you and I will leave for Konoha Ninja Village. If you have any objections, you can raise them. When the voice fell, everyone's nerves suddenly tightened, and they all looked at Long Yu. Is it the Shinwukun Bridge in an emergency? Long Yu only knew the approximate time of the war, not the details. If it really is the Battle of Shinwukun Bridge in an emergency, that means that the Third Ninja World War is coming to an end. How do you know? Minato Namikaze looked stagnant. Guess, do you believe it? Long Yu patted Minato Namifung on the shoulder. When will we leave? Tomorrow morning. Minato Namikaze heard the words, showing a relieved expression. They are most worried that at such a sensitive time, Long Yu will misunderstand and urgently summon him to Konoha. That's no problem. Long Yu promised to go back to Konoha. The first purpose was to spy on those forbidden techniques, and the second was to prepare for darkness. Then Lin will soon become the target of Mist Ninja Village, acting as a human pillar weapon and destroying the peace of Konoha. If it can be used properly, Long Yu will have the opportunity to find the Three Tails, tame it, and use it as a chakra cash machine. I'm hungry too, let's go out to eat first. Minato Namikaze greeted him. The first to leave with a group of ninjas. Long Yu was not far behind, and quickly followed. Dad, do you really want me to go back with Uchiha Ryu? Moonlight Gale looked anxious. Aren't you worried, did he shoot me in the middle? Thinking of Uchiha Ryu's horror, Moonlight Gale also felt regret in his heart. For the sake of a mere woman, offending an existence that even his father was extremely afraid of. If Long Yu didn't die, it would completely become his nightmare for the rest of his life. Don't worry, I've already thought of a way. He hid so deeply and defeated Yun Ren and Wu Ren at a critical moment, proving that he still has his heart for Konoha. Moonlight Haya said solemnly. If you sincerely apologize, and I give him the stuff at the bottom of the press box, it should be able to resolve these small frictions. Moonlight Blast was stunned for a moment, and then he said in a hurry, Dad, that thing is the key to our family's survival, will it be too much? No, Moonlight Haya shook his head and said, if he accepts it, it will bring opportunities to our Moonlight clan. Also, I have made up my mind. I hope that after this incident, you will not be able to grow up completely, and understand who can be provoked and who can't be provoked. Moonlight Blast was silent, and after a long time, under the gaze of Moonlight Knight, he nodded in agreement. Let's go, it's not too early, it looks like there's a campfire dinner outside. Outside the stronghold, it was a canyon that was easy to defend and difficult to attack. After 2 world-shattering battles, it was completely razed to the ground. 70 or 80 Konoha's ninjas are sitting here. There was a huge fire in the middle, illuminating the night. The flame jumped with the wind, causing the temperature to rise quite a bit, which seemed a bit depressing. Not much different from the atmosphere in the field. The gazes of many Konoha ninjas subconsciously swept across Long Yu's body, appearing very cautious. Ahem, I'm nearby, I brought 3 old goats back, let's eat roast lamb tonight. Maoyu Kingwu coughed dryly, intending to break the depression in the field. However, looking at the Konoha ninja who were still indifferent, obviously afraid of Long Yu, afraid of accidentally touching the scales, the Konoha ninja who kept silent, helplessly laughed bitterly. I'm leaving tomorrow, let me cook you a meal. Minato also deliberately opened up the depressing atmosphere in the arena. Just as he stood up, he was stopped by Long Yu's probing hand. I have also studied food, let me do it. Long Yu patted Namaifung Minato on the shoulder. Under the astonished eyes of everyone, he walked out. As a ninja, it is not difficult to hunt 3 wild sheep. Moreover, one of the long horns was scarred, and it was bent and hovered, showing a mighty posture. It seemed that it was for the food supplement in wartime. Maoyu Kingwu didn't even let go of the sheep. Long Yu, can you do it? Maoyu Kingwu couldn't help asking. Long Yu rolled his eyes. Don't ask men if they can do it, men can't do it, women don't like it, who has a chakra knife, lend me a hand. PFF'd. The sound of snickering resounded in many corners of the arena. Namikaze Minato also shook his head helplessly and smiled. Only Izuki Shion and Mute, the 2 little girls, looked confused. Chapter 35, Chinese Cuisine. Dad, what does Long Yu mean? Maoyu Shion asked. Maoyu Kingwu's cheeks flushed, and she glared. Little girl, why are you asking so many questions, just stay by the side. Seeing Maoyu Kingwu reprimanding him, many people who were holding back their laughter immediately burst into laughter. Looking at Long Yu, who suddenly broke the atmosphere, Minato Namikaze and Kingwu Izuki looked very surprised. Long Yu, I didn't expect you to have a sense of humor. If anyone's chakra knife is the best here, it should be mine. Moonlight Haya came with a gust of moonlight. Just heard this. Without any hesitation, Moonlight Dark Knight took out the short knife on his thigh with his backhand and threw it out. Long Yu of course understood what Moonlight Haya had in mind, and he did not refuse, but took it back. The chakra knife was pulled out in response, and the light blue blade, under the chakra perfusion, glowed blue fluorescence. However, at the moment when Long Feng changed the nature of the lightning element, the arc was as bright as fireworks. This chakra knife is pretty good, Long Yu said with a light smile. Moonlight Dark Knight smiled and nodded in agreement, which was the key to breaking the freezing point of the relationship. If you like it, I can give it to you. If you like it, I can give it to you. Moonlight Haya stared at Long Yu. As soon as these words fell, the expressions of everyone in the field could not help but stagnate. A moonlit night, one of the 8 colors of Konoha. Taking the initiative to surrender his status to please Longfeng was beyond their expectations. I understand your kindness, everyone is hungry, don't waste time. Long Yu shook his head and refused. The moonlight and dark night looked stagnant, and his face was a little unbearable. Senior Moonlight, don't mind, Long Yu has a shark muscle and a thunder knife in his hands. Your chakra knife is good, but it is difficult to get into Long Yu's eyes. Xian Maoyu explained in a low voice. Mist Nin's 7 People's Saber. Moonlight Haya was taken aback, and immediately heard the exclamations in the field. Long Yu's eyes widened, and the kaleidoscope writing wheel opened instantly. He grabbed the dead wild goat with his left hand and threw it directly into the air. The short chakra knife held in the right hand, under the flow of electric light, quickly cut away. Everyone just felt dazzled and waited to react. The goat was easily dismembered by Long Yu. If there is really one word to describe this scene, only the idiom of Peoding Jianiu can do it. In an instant, the 3 sheep turned into pieces of meat of different sizes, and fell into the soup nest with a diameter of 2 or 3 meters like blood. When he saw Maoyu Kangwu, he brought back 3 wild goats. Long Yu decided to make a Chinese gourmet handmade mutton to shock this group of indigenous people who only eat ramen and barbecue. Moreover, the mutton was cut by Long Yu's thunder and lightning, completely locked in the gravy, and then boiled with blood. The taste is even more delicious. What kind of food is this, cooked in such a strange way? Che, you don't pay attention to the key points. Using the change of chakra attributes, and the writing wheel to dismember this goat, the gestures are skilled, and the speed is extremely fast. This skill is not comparable to ordinary people. This must be a professional butcher delayed by ninjas. Everyone in the field was stunned. Especially Uchiha Fugaku. He never imagined that Long Yu would use the legendary kaleidoscope to write round eyes as the key to the butcher. If Madara Uchiha knew, I am afraid that even the old blood could be spit out. However, when Uchiha Fuyu saw Long Yu frown, a more absurd idea appeared in his mind. This guy, won't you plan to use fire escape? As soon as these words fell, everyone in the field was stunned at first, and they had seen the magic seal in Long Yu's hand flying down. Fire escape spark. The fiery chakra burst out with the dragon feather, instantly boiling the mutton cooked in warm water. Of course, if a layman sees this scene, he will definitely be surprised. However, it was a ninja who was present. Facing Long Yu's precise chakra manipulation ability, he almost split his eyes. If the amount of chakra is too small, the spell will fail. Too much chakra will fry the whole pot of lamb. Now that Long Yu can just boil the mutton, looking at the field, I am afraid that even Nafeng Minato is not as good as himself. As soon as the water boiled, Long Yu poured out the whole pot of blood, immediately added clean water, and continued to cook. A handful of plump wild onions picked from nearby, a handful of Chinese prickly ash, and a piece of pine wood that Long Yu had already done, covered them directly when the fragrance filled the air. As long as you add a pinch of salt when it comes out of the pot, it will be delicious on earth. Bring me a stone, Long Yu motioned. Maoyu Kangwu did not dare to hesitate, and hurriedly brought a large stone with a smooth surface. Looking at Long Yu buried in the fire, when it was burning hot, the goat's fat was smeared on it, and the zira sounded. The dough that was originally used to make ramen noodles was neatly spread on the stone. As soon as it was scalded before and after, when the sizzling sound of suet sounded, sprinkle a handful of fat onions again. A piece of green onion flatbread is directly completed. At that time, just cut the mutton into slices and eat it in a roll. That's even more delicious. Long Yu made hundreds of green onion pancakes at once, and it took almost the same time to look at the mutton. The moment the lid was opened, the smell of mutton permeated. For a while, the surroundings were silent. Long Yu turned around and looked around, only to realize that Maoyu Kangwu and the others had already widened their bull's eyes and surrounded them. sniffing lamb and swallowing saliva against this nest of hands. If he wasn't afraid of where Long Yu was, he would have already rolled up his sleeves and started robbing him. Long Yu rolled his eyes, and after rolling 7 or 8 mutton stuffing, he squeezed out the crowd under the eye of the tiger. "Come on yourselves, I have demonstrated the method." Long Yu dropped these words. The hungry wolves that were already starving all around suddenly burst into flames. "Let me go first, your sister, you pushed me out." "Ulan, don't forget, you called me brother, hurry up and give it to me first." "Che, in this case, even if you were my mother, I wouldn't let you." "No, give me the rest, or I will fight you." In the face of this kind of Chinese cuisine, the aroma of various spices colliding together not only conquered the sense of smell, but also the taste buds. Looking at the chaotic situation, Long Yu shook his head helplessly and came to Yu Xian and mute. "Eat it, it tastes good." "Hee, it seems that this old man of mine is a bit spoiling the atmosphere. We don't have the treatment of Minato." Mao Yu Kangwu couldn't help but take a few glances, and also joined the snatch. "Thank you, Long Yu, I didn't expect you to cook such a different kind of food. If someone marry you, it will be a blessing." Dog Feng held 2 slices of green onion cake in his mouth and 3 in his hand. Apparently it took a hard fight to get it over. Chapter 36, Konoha 3 Sun Moon Dance. As he spoke, he did not forget to wink at Yu Xian and mute, making the 2 girls' cheeks even redder. He had to bow his head and eat silently. "Me too." Namikaze Minato looked at the green onion cake that Long Yu handed over, and unexpectedly took it. "Long Yu, if you go back to Konoha and open a gourmet restaurant, I'm afraid there will be no more ramen. I'm really surprised that you have always been so inconspicuous, and suddenly you have become all-powerful, which makes me a little uncomfortable." For this remark, Uchiha Fuyu also agreed. Long Yu shook his head and said with a smile, "It's just a hobby. I've been pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger, so it's time to be a dragon and eat a tiger." Namikaze Minato and Uchiha Fugaku couldn't help but stare at each other and fell into silence. Since Long Yu is unwilling to reveal too much, they will not ask too much. After a meal, the atmosphere was obviously chatting. The Konoha ninja, who had been wary of Long Yu, looked at Long Yu with a little more kindness. This is probably the miracle of Washa's so-called wine table communication. "It's getting late, I'll go back to rest first." Long Yu patted the dust on his body and left first. For Long Yu's departure, everyone present nodded in agreement. But no one noticed the departure of the moonlight night and the moonlight wind. The cool breeze in the dark night made people feel an inexplicable chill. Long Yu didn't go back to the cave to rest directly, but turned around and came to the dense forest not far away, and stopped abruptly. "It's time to come out and meet after we've been with you for so long." 2 figures flashed out in the darkness in response. With the help of the mottled moonlight, it is the moonlight night and the moonlight wind. Sure enough, the blue is better than the blue, so that I can also discover my existence. The moonlight and the dark night have the ability to escape. Under this rare bloodline boundary, he became the most powerful silent killer in Konoha. I thought that I would be able to take advantage of this, but I didn't expect Long Yu to see through it in an instant. You've shown goodwill to me in public just now, and now you're following me. There must be something. Long Yu looked back at Moonlight Gale. Your Moonlight clan's penetration is good, but how could you not be found by me with this oil bottle? Moonlight Knight smiled helplessly. He is known as Konoha Bashi, but compared to him, Moonlight Blast is indeed a bit far behind. Moreover, compared with the terrifying young man in front of him, it is a world of difference. Long Yu, don't get me wrong, I am following you this time to resolve the grievance between you and Moonlight Gale. Moonlight Haya said straight to the point. Our Moonlight clan, in addition to possessing the Shueiji boundary, is the best at swordsmanship. Among them, Konoha Sanryu is our family's box-pressing swordsmanship. The outside world compares me to Sakumo Konoha Baya Hitaki, and it is also because of this sword technique. Long Yu was also a little surprised by Moonlight Haya's actions. However, after possessing the shark muscle and the thunder knife, Long Yu really wanted to learn some knife skills. Otherwise, the forbearance knife fell into Long Yu's hands and only knew how to slash, which was a shame. Originally, Long Yu had thought about returning to Konoha and going to Hitaki Kakashi to see if there was any way to get Hitaki Sakumo's swordsmanship. Unexpectedly, someone took the initiative to send it to the door. Long Yu, I don't ask for anything. As long as you can protect the Moonlight Gale at a critical moment, the previous matter will be written off, and I will teach you Konoha Sanryuwu. Moonlight Haya said anxiously. Long Yu frowned, glanced at Moonlight Gale, whose face was full of tension, and said, forget it, I don't want to use a hairy boy to threaten me in exchange for something in return. Looking at Long Yu, who turned around and planned to leave after leaving these words, Moonlight Haya's expression became stagnant, and he hurriedly said, Long Yu, don't misunderstand, this sword technique was planned to be taught to you from the beginning. Looking at the instant body technique, he appeared in front of him. In the dark night of the moon and the night with his face full of urgency, it was the first time that Long Yu knew that this father's love was great. For this little thing, even the family's knives were given away. However, this is also in Long Yu's arms. Long Yu, please accept it, otherwise the blast will not be at ease for the rest of your life. Moonlight Haya said anxiously. There are only two ways to get revenge with a strong man. Kill the strong man first. The next day I lived in fear, worrying that if this strong man was in a bad mood one day, he remembered this incident and deliberately killed him. What's more, facing Long Yu, Moonlight Blast obviously only had the first choice left. If you don't want anything delivered to your door, then I'll be respectful and accept it first. Long Yu spread out the scroll with his backhand. Looking at everything recorded above, the sound of the system prompt sounded in my mind. Find out, S-level swordsmanship, Konoha Sanryuwu, whether the host is instantly full level. Full level immediately. Long Yu didn't hesitate. Jingle. Congratulations to the host, Konoha Sanryuwu is full. After feeling the memory of Sanryuwu in his mind, Long Yu put away the scroll and handed it back to the Moonlight Knight. Long Yu, what's wrong? Moonlight Haya couldn't help but startled. In his eyes, Long Yu took over the scroll and it only took a minute or two. You don't think this scroll is fake, do you? When a person takes the initiative to flatter, the most worry is to be misunderstood. Now the Moonlight and Knight have this kind of mentality. Even the things at the bottom of the family's box were sent out, if it was more suspicious. This is so frustrating. No, I've learned it, it's useless for me to keep this scroll. Long Yu said lightly. Looking at the serious Long Yu, Moonlight Dark Knight and Moonlight Blast couldn't help being stunned. As a descendant of the Moonlight clan, Moonlight Haya has an extraordinary talent, and it took a year to learn the swordsmanship of Konoha Sanryuwu. Moonlight Blast's talent was slightly worse, but it took more than 2 years. However, the two of them are also known as the heirs with the highest talent besides the first-generation patriarch who created Konoha Sanryuwu. As one of the 8 colors of Konoha, Moonlight Black Knight is also known as the existence that promotes Konoha Sanri Moon Dance. They have always been proud of Konoha Mikazuki Mai. However, as soon as Long Yu opened his mouth, he told them that it took 2 minutes to learn Konoha Sanryuwu. This is too convincing. Don't believe it, Long Yu said with a light smile. The Moonlight Knight was startled for a while, and then he stubbornly agreed. He taught Konoha Sanryuwu to Long Yu, just to resolve the grievances and forge a good cause by the way. Chapter 37, Betting. If Long Yu didn't learn it, all his efforts would be in vain. Moonlight Haya didn't want to provoke Long Yu, but in this case, he could only bite the bullet. In order to avoid hurting people, let's use branches instead. Long Yu's right hand probed into the air. 2 3-foot-long branches fell directly into the hands of the two of them. The chakra threads, this is the foundation of the puppet master. Moonlight Dark Knight's expression changed slightly. Once again, I was surprised by Long Yu's powerful chakra manipulation ability. It's over, let's start. Long Yu didn't care. Looking at the moment of the moonlit night, I took a step forward. Moon shadow. Moonlight dark night's expression suddenly changed. Before I could think about it, I turned around and stabbed back. PFF'd. Although what Yugong Haya held in his hand was just an ordinary branch, it fell into his hand like a sharp blade. Along with the sound of breaking the air, there is even more chakra surging. The whistling sound of the wind entwined the branches, enhancing the power of cutting by a few points. At the same time, the branch directly pierced into Long Yu's body. However, this knife did not splatter with blood, and Long Yu, who appeared behind him, gradually distorted and became illusory. I'm behind you. The familiar voice sounded again. The complexion of the moonlight night changed dramatically. Sun and Moon Shadow Strike. This is a move in Konoha 3 Sun Moon Dance. Use afterimages and clones to confuse the enemy and take the lead in attacking. Once there is a mistake, a fake target is attacked. That would be a fatal blow. Originally, in the moonlight and dark night, I thought Long Yu was joking. But now I see that Long Yu will not only use the moon shadow, but also the sun and moon return shadow strike. This is completely beyond his knowledge. Sun and Moon Phantom Slash. The moonlight roared in the dark night, and clenched the branches with both hands, under the chakra infusion. Turn around and stab directly at Long Yu. Attacking together, the light and shadow bloomed immediately, turning into afterimages in the sky, adding an inexplicable depressing atmosphere. Sun Moon Blood Wheel Slash. Long Yu was not afraid at all. This Sun and Moon Phantom Slash, the virtual with the real with the virtual, the best way is to break it hard. The moment chakra poured into the branches, it burst into dazzling light, and the next moment it slashed into the moonlight night. With a single blade, it turned into a round moon blade and slashed down towards the afterimage of the sky. Boom! The two attacks collided with each other, and under the wind, the moonlight and dark night staggered out. Looking at Long Yu, the moonlight dark night was full of disbelief. Dad, what he's doing is really the 3 Sun Moon Dance. Moonlight Gale asked eagerly. Bastard, as a direct descendant of the Moonlight clan, can't you see it like this? Moonlight Haya scolded angrily. You must practice more after you go back, or you will lose the face of our Moonlight clan. It's okay, I'll go first. Long Yu threw away half of the branch in his hand. The battle just now was only tentative. Moreover, in order to perform the real 3 Sun Moon Dance sword technique, you also need a good chakra knife. Only with strong chakra conductivity can better chakra agglomeration, as well as attribute changes, enhance the power of swordsmanship. Among them, in the world of ninja, there is the so-called country of iron. They have chakra, but what they developed is not so-called ninjutsu, but how to integrate chakra into swordsmanship. Among them, Mifune of the Iron Country is an existence that has honed the swordsmanship to be comparable to the shadow level. However, with the successive wars, many so-called samurai were eliminated. Moreover, in the face of the so-called great power struggle, the Iron Country has always maintained the attitude of a neutral country. As a result, there are fewer and fewer samurai, and there are fewer opportunities for the exquisite swordsmanship to spread. You go back first. I also want to guide the wind. Moonlight Haya did not continue to hold back. Now the talent that Long Yu has shown has far exceeded his imagination. Regardless of whether he has mastered the profound meaning of the 3 Sun Moon Slash, this amazing learning talent is worth betting on. It was only at this moment that he understood why Minato Nami, King Wu Maoyu and the others valued Long Yu so much. Willing to offend the hero of Danzo. Senior Moonlight, are you alright? Minato Namikaze suddenly appeared. Haya, who was very worried, was taken aback, and he quickly shook his head and said, Minato, I have nothing to do, I just want to share my experience with Long Yu. Dad, is this still an exchange of experience? You have taught him Sanryuwu. Yugong Gale couldn't help but pouted. However, this can't be blamed for the moonlight blast to break through the matter. Originally, there were very few who could practice the Konoha 3 Sun Moon Dance. Among them, Moonlight Blast is considered to be the best, known as a little genius. Now suddenly a monstrous dragon feather appeared, so his so-called little genius halo might be reduced to a green leaf in an instant. Speak up. Moonlight Dark Knight glared at him. Minato Namikaze shook his head with a smile and said, Senior Moonlight, don't blame Hayate too much. Your bet isn't wrong. Moonlight Dark Knight couldn't help but startled and said, Minato, do you also think Uchiha Ryu's achievements will be very high in the future? No, I don't think so. Minato Namikaze shook his head. Moonlight Knight was stunned for a moment. Just when he thought that he had made the wrong bet, Minato Namikaze's voice sounded again. I think Uchiha Ryu didn't show his real strength. Watergate, what are you talking about? Moonlight Dark Knight was taken aback. In the information he learned, Uchiha Longyu defeated Yunren and Wuren alone. Moreover, the AB group was also repelled, and at the same time, it was recognized by the next generation of Raikage in Yunnan village. This is a great honor for any ninja. However, now Namikaze Minato told him that Longyu was still paddling. This gap is too big. Now I just hope that Danzo doesn't do stupid things, otherwise we Konoha will probably usher in a big enemy. Minato Namikaze said with flickering eyes. In the early morning, when the genius just lit up, Longyu and his party of 4 left the stronghold. Since Silent is the only medical ninja in the stronghold, he cannot evacuate with Longyu. However, with Moonlight and Dark Knight, one of the 8 colors of Konoha, and dozens of new ninjas as background, the defense of the stronghold has been improved by 1 or 2 levels. In case of any problems, we can also support Minato Namikaze for support. It can be said that Minato Namikaze, who knows the art of Flying Thunder God, is the backing of mobile support. Originally, Uyu Shion planned to stay in the stronghold to support Uyu Kingwu. Unfortunately, Maoyu Kingwu obviously has selfishness. Not only because of losing the bet, but also because of the huge potential of Longyu. Their Azuki family had a low status in Konoha. In case, in the future, Longyu will really take power and become a big man in Konoha. Chapter 38, 3 Hokage. That Maoyu Shion, as Longyu's woman, has also risen in status. Even if he takes 10,000 steps back, with Uchiha Ryu alone, the formidable combat power that broke out in these 2 battles, and the character of protecting his shortcoming. Uyu Shion became Longyu's woman, and she would never be mistreated or looked down upon. It was because Uyu Kingwu had this idea. In the stronghold, ninjas with daughters planned to sell their daughters. Last night, he almost knocked on Long Feng's door. Therefore, as soon as the day dawned, Longyu hurriedly packed up and left early. When Maoyu Kingwu sent out the base, he held his shoulders with a look you know. With that appearance and expression, it was as if they wished Longyu and Uyu Shion, if something happened on the way, they would return to the village to get raw rice and cook cooked rice. This kind of behavior made Longyu vomit, and the surname of Naruto World is precocious. However, looking at the 12 or 13-year-old Uyu Shion, that figure clearly already has a large scale. Inside Konoha. In the huge Hokage office, the face of the 3rd Hokage was a little gloomy. Looking at Xiaochun and Mito Menyon, he said solemnly, Danzo violated our agreement and issued an order privately to let Yamanaka Ryu also challenge Uchiha Ryu. Quote. Sarutobi, did you get Minato's report? What was the result? Mito Menyon said solemnly. Yanzhonglong is also in Danzo's hands. His strength has already reached the level of elite Jonin, and he is also proficient in restraint techniques. Uchiha Ryu, have you suffered? Turning to bed, Xiaochun showed a rare smile, nodded and said, that kid is hiding too deep. If you can use this to beat him, it may not be a bad thing. Xiaochun is right. Before Uchiha Ryu's purpose is unclear, this kind of beating is inevitable. Danzo will act as the clown. It's the best thing. Mito Menyon nodded in agreement. You bastards, are you all confused? 3 generations of Hokage suddenly scolded. Don't forget Minato's report. Try not to turn against Uchiha Ryu, or he will become our Konoha's #1 enemy. The inexplicable words made Mito Menyon and Chuon Kaharu stiffen. Sarutobi, what do you mean? What happened to Yamanaka Ryuya and Uchiha Ryu? In their eyes, the 3 generations of Hokage Sarutobi hidden have always been peaceful. Emotions have never fluctuated so much, and now there will be monsters when things go wrong. He died and was instantly killed by Uchiha Ryu. 3 generations of Hokage took out a scroll and threw it to Mito Menyon, saying, "This is the information sent by Minato, you guys have a look first, think of a way to deal with it." Countermeasures. Quote. Yan Zonglong was also killed by one move. Mito Menyon's expression changed. Quickly open the scroll and check it out. As time went on, the expressions of him and Xiaochun became more and more livid. In their eyes, Yamanaka Long is also proficient in the art of heart-turning, and in the root, he has been trained by non-human beings. Prefers to be good at restraint, and sensory ninjutsu. If the two fight against each other, Yamanaka Long also has a strong perception ability. You must first notice the opponent's changes and move. However, according to the description on the scroll now, Yamanaka Long was bound by illusion before he could react, and was then burned to ashes by the black flame that could not be extinguished. Although the battle scene, they are not seen before. But just based on the description between the lines, it has already sent chills down their spines. According to Minato's description, Uchiha Ryu has only shown a certain level of strength so far. Moreover, he has the ability to learn ninjutsu against the sky, which is probably related to his special Sharingan. The 3rd Hokage said in a deep voice. Minato once mentioned that Uchiha Ryu has always hated troublesome things, that's why Zhangzhou was forced to take action this time, and he also repelled the large forces of Yunren and Wuren. Even the shark muscle watermelon mountain puffer ghost and the black Holeya of the 7 people of Wunin were also beheaded. Among our Konoha, only a few people can achieve such a record. Having said that, the 3 generations of Hokage glanced at Kaharu and Mito Kazuma. You tell me now how to decide. The expressions of Mito Menyon and Chuon Kaharu changed. Originally, in their eyes, Uchiha Ryu was just a kid similar to Uchiha Shisui. This kind of person is easy to deal with, as long as you use the family to coerce a little or two, you will do it obediently. However, now Uchiha Longyu has not only been lurking for more than 10 years, but also burst out with such a powerful strength. Even Danzo's subordinates dare to kill. This is fearless. HMPH, you guys are really going back the more you live. Danzo suddenly pushed open the office door. Lord Hokage, the 2 guards stationed at the door looked complicated. Go back, I already knew he would come. Sandai Hokage waved his hand. In Konoha, Danzo is a special existence, and the root he established is independent of Anbu, a subordinate of Hokage. In a sense, the existence of roots is a power structure that does not belong to Hokage. Therefore, Danzo often secretly sends members of the root to monitor the entire Konoha village. Even Hokage's office is no exception. HMPH, Sarutobi, you are really going back as you live. You can't even deal with a mere brat. I think you are not suitable to be Hokage and take on this important task. Danzang came over with a cold face. If I hadn't left behind in advance, I'm afraid you have made a decision now, and I don't know. Danzo, don't misunderstand, Sarutobi didn't mean that. Mito Kadome opened his mouth to dissuade him. He knew very well the character of his old classmate. HMPH, Mito, seems that you also think that the idea of the 3rd generation is correct, which really disappoints me. Danzang sneered. Now Konoha is in jeopardy, and all countries dare to step in and bully us Konoha, all because of your cowardly nature. If you had listened to me in the morning and dealt with them with an iron fist, Konoha would not need to open the 3 major battlefields at the same time. Quote. This. Mito Menyon's expression froze, he shook his head and sighed. Danzo, don't get me wrong, everyone is here for Konoha to thrive, even Sarutobi. If you have any opinion, feel free to say it, so that we can discuss 1 or 2 things. Danzo, Mito is right. If you have any opinion, Feel free to say it and take a look. If it is beneficial to Konoha, I can agree. 3 generations of Hokage said solemnly. Xuanzhao Shaochun has not spoken, but he has already expressed his agreement on his expression. HMPH, no need. Danzo snorted coldly and said, since that Uchiha Ryu has so many variables, it is a scourge for us Konoha. Chapter 39, Wandering Ninja. And, don't forget, if the Uchiha clan knew that there was such a rebellious existence in their clan, it would definitely fuel their arrogance, so I have already sent someone to deal with him. They were still discussing just now, how to appease Uchiha Ryu and use it for Konoha Shinobi Village. Now Danzo has secretly sent someone to deal with Long Yu. This completely overturned the plan of Namikaze Minato. Danzo, are you crazy? You shot Uchiha Ryu again and again. You are forcing him to defect. 3 generations of Hokage shouted angrily. In case Uchiha Ryu escapes from the village, with his current strength and record, any village is willing to throw an olive branch and become the sharp blade of our Konoha ninja village. You are the biggest responsible person. Turning Kaharu and Mito Menion's faces changed involuntarily. It was the first time that they would be so angry when they saw Hiruzen Sarutobi with a peaceful personality. Moreover, in the eyes of Sarutobi Hizen, getting the position of the 3 generations of Hokage, I owe Danzo in my heart. That's why it has been left to the root. This institution that is out of Hokage's control exists. However, now the 3 generations of Hokage are furious with Danzo because of Uchiha Ryu. This is enough to illustrate the importance of the 3 generations of Hokage to Uchiha Ryu. Danzo, I warn you now, hurry up and bring people back, otherwise don't blame me for being rude. 3 generations of Hokage shouted in a deep voice. The huge Hokage office fell into an inexplicable depressing atmosphere. Facing the anger of the 3 generations of Hokage, Xuan Kaharu and Mito Gateyan turned pale. However, in the face of Danzang's private shot, he was also dissatisfied. HMPH, Sarutobi, you really don't have the spirit you used to be. Danzo snorted coldly, his attitude obviously softened a bit. For a long time, no matter what he did in private, Hizen Sarutobi was able to see through it. He even tried for Hokage's position several times, but he was still defeated by Sarutobi Hizen. If it is on the old love, and the original intention is for the good of Konoha, I am afraid that the root has long since ceased to exist. Don't worry, the people I sent this time are not our Konoha, but some wandering ninjas. No matter what the outcome is, they won't know my identity. Tuanzang said solemnly. In case of failure, Uchiha Ryu will only do it, mistakenly thinking that it was done by other shinobi villages. After all, recently, his edge has been revealed. Leaving those words, Danzo turned around and left. Looking at the closed office door, the 3rd Hokage couldn't help rubbing his swollen temples. Sarutobi, what are you going to do now? Mito Menion couldn't help saying. Xuan Shaochun still did not speak, just stared at the 3 generations of Hokage. They knew very well that Danzo's words were already the biggest compromise. As for the final result, only the decision of the 3 generations of Hokage can be seen. This guy, Danzo, is really a headache. 3 generations of Hokage sighed helplessly. Send me to inform Minato. There are wandering ninjas in the land of fire, let them be careful. In the eyes of the 3 generations of Hokage, Danzo's starting point is for the safety of Konoha. What's more, now they just know that Danzo has used some means to get in touch with the wandering ninja. Who these wandering ninjas are, no one knows. So it is impossible to stop the wandering ninja. The only way is to notify Namikaze Minato to be more vigilant. If Uchiha Ryu can come back alive, this is a kind of strength. In case of being assassinated in the middle, it is life. Sarutobi is right, and that's the only way to do it now. Mito Gateyan nodded in agreement. Now the situation in our country of fire is in turmoil, and the speed of attack and deployment in the country of earth has also changed. It seems that this 2-year tug of war is also ready to end. As soon as Minato arrives at Konoha, let him lead the team under his command and go to the land of Earth for the final mission. Outside world. As soon as Danzo left the Hokage office building, Yamanaka Phoenix and Oil Girl took root in the dark. Lord Danzo, are things going well? Shan Zongfeng couldn't hold back his breath. You must avenge my father. Shan Zonglong is also Shan Zongfeng's father and Danzo's most capable subordinate. After hearing that Yamanaka was at risk of being killed at the hands of Uchiha Ryu, Yamanaka Ryu also volunteered to take a shot, intending to let out a bad breath. It's just that they never imagined that this bad breath not only did not come out, but also lost their lives. Feng, don't worry, the wandering ninja I contacted this time is a small family that has been in decline, and there is a monster that has existed for a long time. If he shoots, no matter how powerful that kid is, he has always been so low-key. Must lack a lot of combat experience. Dan Zhang sneered. Shan Zongfeng's expression was stagnant, and he said, Lord Danzo, you mean the monster that has been on the battlefields recently and offered a bounty to assassinate him? The oily girl who had not spoken all the time heard the words, and her face changed dramatically at this moment. If Danzo really invited the legendary person to take action, then waiting for Uchiha Ryu is definitely a dead end. Konoha is far from the base, and it will take at least 4 days to travel with all his strength. Because Minato Namikaze was in a hurry, he returned to Konoha to check the battle situation, so he performed the Flying Thunder God technique in the middle and left early. Although, Namikaze Minato also mentioned that he could use the technique of Flying Thunder God to take them away together. However, it was rejected by Long Yu. The technique of Flying Thunder God is actually not much different from the space jump of Sasuke's reincarnation in the later stage. However, Sasuke can also reincarnate and open the door in all directions. Minato Namikaze can only jump with the Flying Thunder God seal. And with the number of people transferred, the consumption of chakra and mental power will greatly increase. Even the space jump distance will be shortened. Therefore, Long Yu still refused. Long Yu, there is a post station ahead, why don't we rest here? Moonlight Gale asked weakly. Along the way, Moonlight Blast kept a distance from Long Yu at all times. But it was indeed a bit overwhelming for him to travel for days, even though it was only 20 miles away from Konoha. Still can't resist making this suggestion. Long Yu, it's already close to Konoha's warning position, why don't you take a rest first? After wiping the hot sweat on her forehead, Mao Yuxian also showed a hint of tiredness. If Uyu Kingwu knew, he desperately wanted to let Uyu Xian and Long Yu happen to unknown things on the way back. All the time was spent on the journey, so I'm afraid I don't know what to expect. Chapter 40, Scattered and Escaped. Long Yu was the first to stop and landed in front of the inn, looking at the caravan inside with a playful smile. Come on, it's very lively here, maybe there are some unexpected surprises. The inexplicable words made Uyu Xian startled, but Moonlight Blast had already run in. Boss, hurry up and give me a pot of tea and 3 servings of meatballs. After Yugong Gale called out the words, he remembered this moonlight night, but let him focus on Uchiha Longyu. Looking at Uchiha Ryu who walked in quickly, he hurriedly said, I'm calling for you Maruko. Looking at the shriveled moonlight wind, Longyu shook his head with a smile and said, you can eat this, I'm not hungry. Guest, tea and balls are here. An old man with a dry face came out of the kitchen. This young man, I advise you to try it. The meatballs from our post station, the caravans from the past, but no matter how far apart they are, they will come and visit. If you try it once, you will definitely come back in the future. It really tastes so good, it's the first time I've heard of it. Uyu Xian's eyes lit up. They are not as perverted as Long Yu, and this is the first time they have gone on a long-distance mission. After this long journey, my stomach is already beating. Now that I heard the old man brag so much, I couldn't help but pick up the ball and stuff it into my mouth. Okay, don't eat this ball, everyone is watching you. Long Yu suddenly grabbed the hand of Uyu Xian. The sudden action made Xian Maoyu startled for a while, and her cheeks flushed red immediately, saying, "There are many people here in Longyu, hurry up and take your hands back." Looking at Mao Yuxian with the look of a little girl, Longyu rolled his eyes helplessly. The speed of this thinking is too fast. It seems that the precocious thinking of Naruto world is poisonous. Go! A loud shout suddenly sounded. The shop owner, who was originally withered and old, became extremely sharp in the next moment, and directly reached out and grabbed Wu Yuxian. Wu Yuxian was stunned. She never thought that the old man in front of her would be hidden so deeply. At such a close distance, there is no way to hide. When the old man saw this scene, his face was filled with joy. In his eyes, as long as one hostage is captured, then, it is not difficult at all to deal with two young chunin. Recurrent violence. The crackling thunder arc sounded suddenly. The fist wrapped around Li Guang seemed to explode even the air. Boom! The old man was directly smashed hundreds of meters away. Everywhere along the way, whether it is a wooden board or a big tree, it was broken by the middle. When he hit a rock wall and barely stopped his figure, he opened his mouth and spat out a mouthful of blood, tilted his head and died. Inside the inn, more than a dozen merchants who wanted to start violently, looked sluggish. The information and tasks they got were only to deal with the three Konoha chunin. Among them, even the frightening golden glittering Nikamo Minato left early. In their eyes, this task is a sweet pastry. Patriarch, who is he? It seems to be different from the information. A wandering ninja couldn't hold back. The one who took the lead was a middle-aged man dressed as a businessman, looking at Longyu with a hint of vulture. HMPH, just a little faster. Don't forget, this time we all came out. As long as we take off this kid's head, the reward we get is enough for us to survive the war. Our family is fighting for survival. Yes, we are fighting to survive. More than a dozen wandering ninjas instantly agreed. The leader of the wandering ninja, staring at Longyu, shouted sharply, "Let's fight quickly, don't let that guy take a step ahead of us and get a reward." Thinking of which guy with the smell of money and danger, the leader of the wandering ninja, his spine is still chilled. Looks like there's another amazing person here. Longyu smiled genially. Since you're not the main course, you're not qualified to keep it for questioning. The voice fell, and the floor under Longyu's feet cracked. The next moment, it disappeared out of thin air like a ghost, and reappeared before the leader of the wandering ninja. Spiral pills. This is Longyu's weakest means of attack right now. Under the chakra infusion, it was instantly rolled into a ball. Without any bells and whistles, he smashed the wandering ninja head-on. Do not. The pupils of the wandering ninja leader suddenly shrank. This was completely different from the chunin he knew. Boom. The moment Spiral Maru fell, the leader of the wandering ninja hurriedly raised his defensive hands and broke them. The huge impact caused him to be thrown out. It smashed the beam directly, and smashed it on the big tree 100 meters away. Even worse than the wandering ninja who pretended to be an old man, he couldn't even spit out blood. His entire chest was sunken, and he died of breathlessness. Dead, the patriarch actually died. Escape, let's escape quickly, otherwise our Fengmo clan will be exterminated. A terrified roar resounded from the field. The wandering ninjas who were present didn't have time to think about it, they just scattered and fled. Longyu, hurry up and chase. These wandering ninjas dare to commit murder outside Konoha village. If they encounter other people whose strength is inferior to you, it will be unfortunate. Yu Yuxian became anxious. After being frightened just now, she quickly regained her senses, took out the chakra knife, and stood on guard. She is not surprised that the leader of the wandering ninja was instantly killed by Longyu. Longyu, you go, I will help you protect Xian. Yu Gonggale said in a hurry. This is a good opportunity to take credit. However, seeing Moonlight Blast's legs that were shaking like twists and turns, the confidence in these words obviously became a little insufficient. No need, they can't leave. Longyu looked at the forest not far away lightly. As the leader of the wandering ninjas said just now, This time, a difficult character came. Ah! The screams suddenly sounded. Xian's face changed, and she said, Long Yu, is it that the Watergate-sama is here? In Azuki Yuyan's eyes, Namikaze Minato possesses the technique of Flying Thunder God. This is still the periphery of Konoha village, and there are inevitably patrolling Anbu or sentries nearby. The sound of the battle just now was enough to startle Konoha. As soon as Namikaze Minato learns of the situation here, in just a few miles, Namikaze Minato can arrive with a Flying Thunder God technique. Then, what is that? Moonlight Gale's expression changed dramatically. However, before he could react, Long Yu's right foot was lightning-like and directly knocked the moonlight into the sky. At the same time, Long Yu took Uyu Xian into his arms and hurriedly dodged to his side.